Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
What is going on, everybody? We're at it again. Another week, another stuff. So, before we get into it, let me get the marketing out of the way because I have a couple guests coming on and they're excited. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be an interesting goddamn show. Ooh, boy, it's gonna be one of those shows today. I know it. So, let's get the marketing out of the way. So, I'm streaming from Facebook and YouTube. So, do me a favor if you're coming in, hit the like, share, subscribe. That'll be very refreshing. So before I get into the show, I have a big announcement. Hopefully he's watching because I'm wearing his special shirt. So if anybody's watching, I like everybody to throw a comment in and say happy birthday CQ, or I call him after today, Grandpa CQ. At 141 years old, we have to say happy birthday to him. So has anybody been catching up with the news? That is the biggest question I have at this moment. If you have, so you know what's going on with the whole social media stuff, with the whole Miss McMahon sex stuff, and I kind of want to touch base with that a little bit today because the reason I like to touch base with that is I think it's something we need to talk about. So let's get the first person in the show, and let's give her, if my hopefully my sound effects will work. Let's see if I hit the right button because I've been working on this for a couple days. Where are you? That was the wrong sound effect, but it works at least. So let's say hi to Grace from her show. If you want to plug in your information really fast, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me and inviting me to be on your show. My name is Grace from Embrace the Grace, and I have a YouTube channel. My main shows are usually Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but I'm all over these YouTube streets. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all over. Very interesting channel. Gets messy, it gets hectic sometimes, but you got to come check it out.
But isn't the fun part, the messy part?
Yeah, some awkward conversations. It gets messy sometimes.
Yeah. So we just have our one of our good buddies that I'm wearing his shirt in the chat, Pop Culture Warrior. So let's just say a big happy birthday, Grandpa Pop Culture Warrior to him. He's 140 today. So not really, but I like to mess with him.
140.
No, I like messing. He's only 40, but I call him 140 because it's
Oh,
it's fun to mess with him. Yes, he'll get back to me. I know he's coming at me eventually. So, have you been following the news? What's going on with the whole with the WWE, the trafficking and all that stuff yet?
I mean, I know what's going on. I
Hmm.
don't keep up with it every day because I really don't watch the news anymore.
I don't blame you.
Really, because it drains me. But I do know what's going on. I'm aware. I'm aware of what to look for, to be aware.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what's going on, like right now, right this minute? No, you're gonna have to keep me abreast on that.
Okay,
What's
I'll keep you
going
a
on?
little updated for you and everybody who hasn't watched it. So he got accused for his third sex harassment, I would call it. So the long story short of it, he was forced to step down again. This time was I believe this is sex trafficking this time actually. Pretty much
And who is this?
Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE.
Um, okay.
Yeah. So this is why I want to touch base on this topic today is one, he got away with it for I don't think it was a new thing. I think he's been doing this for years because all these women are coming out one by one, saying he did it to me, he did it to me, he did it to me. So according to the statement and the lawsuit, because nothing is proven yet, saying she she was promised promotions. That's why she was passed around from man to man, from the VPs, even wrestlers. They're saying a former UFC, that only former UFC male that was in the company till now was Brock Lesnar. So all of a sudden,
Mm.
both of their names have been taken off and wiped clean from WWE's anything. If this didn't happen, he would have went down as history, like in a Hall of Fame kind of thing, as being the one who built WWE or WWF. How big it was. Without him, we will be not be having a conversation about this company. It'll probably be something else. But you got to give him credit where it's due. He built a company, but somebody that powerful made a lot of enemies. Here's my
That's
theory.
sad.
Yeah, here is. I have a little theory here. He was not going to give up power. No way. He has admitted, and anybody who worked with him, he has a power control. So obviously, he at this point, I think he might have a sex problem too. But my theory is, I think his kids, he has a boy and a woman, Stephanie McMahon and Sean McMahon, Shane McMahon, something like that, and his brother-in-law Paul Levesque, also known as Triple H. I think they threw him under the bus. I think they whistleblowed him. If this is all accurate, that's my opinion. So, from the little bit I gave you, what's your feedback on this so far?
It's just really sad that all these powerful, rich men don't display dick discipline. I mean, you have the money. You don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? And ruin other women's lives, ruin your family, your reputation. But my thing is that kind of irks me sometimes. And I know you're gonna say it's weird coming from a woman, but why do women wait so long to say something, and then all of a sudden they all come out in a flock? I mean, I get it. You're scared. You don't want to get retaliated on. You don't want to be threatened. But why is it that it always happens after the fact? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my next topic. Actually, it's one of the things I want to talk about tonight. That's where I don't understand this. This happened for so many women. This specific woman had happened to her more than a dozen times, and she didn't say anything to now. But you're okay laying against next. I'm not saying she's 100% innocent either. I'm not saying the men are innocent. I'm just saying, why was this waited for so long? Their text message, you can literally look it up in image, Google image, and you see all these graphic is understatement. How bad the text messages are. Why wait?
Mm.
Let me ask you a question. As a woman, forget like YouTube streams and everything. If somebody put your hands on you, said, "Listen, if you play along, I'll get you a promotion." Would you knock me out? Would you whistleblow, or would you just play along?
I would whistleblow.
Thank you. And it's
I,
nothing
I
wrong with that.
mean, yeah, I would whistleblow. I'm not going to knock you out unless I got my piece on me and it gets really bad. But
How?
I would just, if we're in a corporate job and we're working together, um, I would whistleblow you. Exactly. If you're trying to give me leverage, if I give you some. Now, if you ask me out on a date like a normal man, okay. But if you're threatening me and blackmailing me and coming to me with that negativity, then no, I'm telling.
And that's where I don't understand. Why was this waited for? I don't know how long was this. This is obviously it's been a while because she has text message. She was passed around in the office from man to man. So this was not like a new thing. This has been going on for a while. I Vince McMahon, I believe he's in 75. I believe he is, and that tells me right now this is not a new thing. I heard somebody saying today on a report like maybe he's getting bored. That's why he's doing this. Like seriously, when I get bored, I play video games. When I get bored, I go out and have a beer with friends. And when I get bored, I do something. I walk my dog. I don't.
I'll make a great marinara sauce, so I heard.
Yeah, you want to go there? Oh, we're gonna go there. All right, we're gonna put let's put our money talks. You know what? I
I
know
hear
BMU.
you.
I know BMU would love to taste our marinara sauce. We got me somewhere halfway between him and me and you, and we'll go like a little cook off. I'm like,
I hear
we're
you.
like,
I hear you. And it's like they always wait to bring the man down. It's like I
Bingo.
think it's done strategically sometimes as well. And the Me Too program really like kicked off. And look, at the end of the day, I'm a woman. At the end of the day, I've experienced things and been through things, but I told right away. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Hmm.
hold things in. I went to HR because I know that it can cause a much bigger issue if it's not told. I've told sometimes when somebody came to me and they didn't want to say anything. I was in management, so I was responsible to tell. I breached their trust, but at the same time, as a manager, it was my duty to report it. Just like social services have a duty to report, law enforcement. But I really think some of these situations are strategically planned to bring down a person. With a man with that kind of money, you can buy an island and buy, women that are willing to do it versus taking their dignity and integrity.
See, let's not check again. I'm not sure the value right now with this going on. His value was like at 2.5 billion or something like that. And like he has the money, but she. This is where it gets me. If she was not going to report him, why did she save all the text message? Let's sit there. Let's ask that question for a minute.
Well, I mean, I say text messages from years ago,
Mm-hmm.
threads. I mean, I don't even delete people that has passed away in my phone, because it just makes it too final. But it's always like a backup just in case, if you try to BS me, I can bring it to you. Well, you said this. So that could have been a reason. That could have been a reason for her to strategically save it, to blackmail him. Absolutely. I mean, we can cut this in so many slices, but at the end of the day, why do you wait? She must have not got, and I hate to, I'm not victim shaming, and I really
Mm-hmm.
don't want to, because at the end of the day, I'm a woman too, but it just makes it suspicious. I'm going to have to turn over every leaf and every rock to real. I'm not quick to judge somebody. I got to find all the facts. That's why on my channel, I'm not quick to run on a hot topic or a trending topic, because you got to let the story unfold sometimes and gather your intel before you run and draw a conclusion. What's in it for her? What does she have to lose? I am going to question both parties.
See, here's where I start questioning things on his end and her end. Like you said earlier, said, okay, let's use a real life scenario. Let's say two of us work in the same office, and somebody touched me on appropriate for argument's sake. It was an accident, let's say, and I mentioned, listen, I don't feel comfortable, yada yada yada. To me, that's warning number one. If I have to repeat you twice, that's where I go to you as my manager, and then you address it X, Y, Z. And let's say in his case, he's obviously the owner of the company. There always somebody on top of somebody. Even as CEO, there are other boards there. So if
Mhm.
she was so uncomfortable with it, why didn't she go to somebody other member? Triple H, for example, Stephanie, his daughter, her son, the other boards um man, my brother's froze. The boards of the company, and now TKO owns it. Obviously, that he has a boss on top of him. He could have gone to the owner of that. There's so many options, but waited. That part I don't understand. I can't process that personally.
Well, they could have blackmailed her. They could have threatened her or her family or her children. Again, it could get real.
Mm-hmm.
You could get into a deep rabbit hole. She didn't say anything. Finally, maybe she just imploded and be like, no, I'm tired of being blackmailed, threatened. You're not giving me what you promised me, and I'm going to bring you down. I mean, there could be so many different scenarios. It's just hard to just really hard to understand. But why would I taught my son this when he started working. Do not mess around with girls at your job. Don't do it, because you mess with your money, it doesn't work out. You got to see they raggedy ass every day. And if one thing goes wrong, they can go to the manager, and there goes your job. It's just not worth it. Does he listen? Of course not. He's 17 years old. But all I can do is tell him, teach him, and show him shows like this, and hopefully he'll heed to the message.
I'm not gonna be like say here's telling you I'm not guilty of that because I am very guilty of
I
that.
I'm not I'm guilty of it too. I
Yeah.
was a top management with somebody at mid level. You know what I'm saying? So we're all guilty of it, but we just don't know how to conduct ourselves, especially if we don't get what we want or what
Hmm.
we're promised.
That is the hard question here. Like she was promised to be moved up and all this stuff she says,
It
and the
never
thing
happened.
is, also she signed the paper says she wouldn't whistleblow. So I don't know if that expired and that's why she whistleblow. But personally, I wouldn't have signed anything without making sure. Okay, I want this on paper. Whatever I'm doing here, if you're telling me, okay, I gotta work out two different kitchens, two different locations, because I'm in healthcare cooking. I have to work in, let's say, one is in 5 minutes from my house and the other one's 2 hours away. I need to know what is in it for me. I have to be, get pay. Money talks. I don't care about titles. A title is just a little fancy thing on your shirt, and that's how I always looked at it.
Hmm.
But stuff here doesn't add up. Is it me at least, or do you agree on that?
Yeah, there's too many loopholes. There's too many holes, and now we're gonna waste taxpayers' money. We're gonna sift through all the BS. But look what happened with Johnny Depp. I wasn't so quick to believe that Johnny Depp was guilty because, again, I'm the type, I would be the perfect juror because I'm not quick. As a matter of fact, I had to rescind from jury duty because I just didn't have the time. But you got to gather all your facts. You got to turn over every stone. You got to talk about it. You got to really put the pieces together. And that's what's going to have to happen now. And I just don't jump on the side just that quick. Like what you're doing right now, you're evaluating every piece of evidence, we're talking about it, and until it's all presented in my face, then I can come to a conclusion. Who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying?
See, here's where I have some key points
She
for you. Okay,
allowed it. She allowed it. She was a
that's
participant.
where I have a problem with, because as a woman and as a man, you have to label that person. She wasn't fighting it. If she was fighting it, we would
Mhm.
hear this. Cops would be involved. All this stuff would be involved. She was allowed to text messages back and forth. So she allowed it for a certain point till something happened. So here's some points I found out that people who have an unhealthy, and I think it goes both ways. As much as this topic is mostly about, how men, get pretty much screwed over, with sex and everything. But I think this goes
Mhm.
both ways, and maybe I think you agree. The one of the first topics I have is unhealthy relationship with sex. So just process that for 1 second. Like for example, if you were mentally or physically abused in a relationship, can affect your mental health and well-being in the long term. So,
Mhm.
what do you think?
Absolutely, especially if you don't address the trauma. Especially if you don't go to counseling or you don't heal from it. It's going to be an open wound, and every little thing is going to trigger you. Every little thing, it's I mean, sometimes you don't even understand why you're triggered, but a lot of times it's because we've suppressed things for so long
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes we ourselves don't even know what triggers us, but we don't address our trauma. Okay, so absolutely that trauma bleeds over to other relationships, your life. And that's why we cannot make it define us. We have to fight through it and get over it. I don't want to use the word get over it because that sounds insensitive. You have to work through it. You have to heal. You know that famous saying, hurt people? It's true. I mean, you gotta. I mean, I'll help you unpack it and fold it, but you gotta carry that suitcase and decide to, open it and throw all that stuff out. I can't do it for you, but I can help you.
See, here's the old Greek saying that my mother told me and my grandma told me, and it makes sense in a way. So they say the people who love you make you cry. The people who want evil for you make you laugh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing, but I believe it very much for. So it took me a while to process this as a young man. When I was younger, like I didn't understand that. Now I'm older. Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it sure does. I'm gonna have to sit on that one.
I got you good, didn't I?
Hmm.
So the next one I have is risk behavior in a relationship. That one was like kind of blew me out a little bit because it says and it goes, uh, risk sexual behavior can be unfolded during multiple traumas over SDs and so on.
So you're saying risky sexual behavior
Yeah.
in a relationship?
Yep.
It's risky. I mean, is it really risky if it's consensual and mutual? That's one thing you got to think about it is, and there are a lot of people that have wild sexual fantasies and fetishes and so on, and there are other people that they match up with and they execute these sexual fetishes. It's not risky if it's mutual and consensual, but if it's forced upon, and unwillingly, then that's when it gets predatorial.
Yes, I agree with that. Here's where I'm going to push back. There is some men and women who go a little bit too far with the rough play, and it gets to the point from going being rough play to now you're getting abused during the intercourse. I guess you want to put it in better words.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's scary. That's scary. And then that's a person you're supposed to trust, and you're giving yourself to them willingly, and then it turns into that. That's scary. And now that you mention it, that probably happens more than we care to say, because people are scared to come out.
There you go.
Victim shamed. I mean, how many men do I have a friend that had to report, and a male friend who had to report an incident to HR, and if it was a woman, it would have got handled right away. But because he was a man, they sat on it for so long that he finally had to get a lawyer. So how many men have gone through situations and they don't say anything because they're either laughed at, they're ridiculed, they're victim shamed, or they just blow it off.
I'm gonna give you two examples to that. One is personal.
Okay.
I was in a relationship, serious relationship with somebody,
Oh,
and the relationship when hang on. Before I do that, actually, let me finish the story. Let me get our next guest up in here because I don't want her be hanging. Come on, kick in. There we go.
I'm
no.
Wow, you guys seem surprised. So I did something right. That means ooh, one for me. So, wife, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing good. I apologize for my tardiness.
It's fine. This is our own time. So I'm happy you guys showed up. That's the only thing I care about. I'm like, if you guys show up, I don't care if you
Absolutely.
only show up to 10 minutes late. You're here to support me. I'm here to support you. We're on it together. This is a team effort. I cannot get big. You guys can't get big without me. So we're going to do this together.
Hmm.
So before I start, you want to plug in your information so people can find you?
Ooh, me?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Thompson, and I have created the Wife School podcast, just how it sounds and reads. I'm on IG, YouTube, and I'm basically taking my life experiences, my mistakes that I've made when I was a wife, and just relaying that to young women to encourage them don't do what I did that will sustain your marriage with your husband.
So we're in the middle of having that conversation about when men don't speak up at this point. We're in a conversation. So I was going to just say about something that actually happened to me in real life and some other story. So I was in a serious relationship, and I was physically abused by her. By
Wow.
not once, twice, three or four times. The worst one when we were in the middle of our first breakup, and I got myself a new cell phone, whatever. She was drunk. She was always was drunk. She takes a garden scissor and throws it at me. Well,
Wow.
the 4'5" little Dominican didn't miss. She got me.
Um,
Neighbors saw what happened, called the cops. So because it was COVID time, they told me, and because she's a female, they go, okay, It's fine, nothing. What do you mean nothing? That was a man, and I think you both agree with me. If I put my hands on her, guess who's getting arrested?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the other one I had was my cousin actually. He was dating this Dominican. No, I'm sorry, Puerto Rican girl. She stabbed him. Cops showed up and everything.
Ooh.
And he's 6'5", 300 pounds. And I'm sitting back there. I'm looking. I'm watching this like this is gonna be hilarious. I wish I had my phone on me or my GoPro or something. And the judge calls me like, "She kicked your butt." Like she stabbed you. Yeah. She's 4'2", about $120 on a good day. And she goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna bother." The judge goes, "I'm dismissing the whole case because it's too funny." I'm like, "What?"
No.
Yeah.
Wow. You see, there's no repercussions. That's why there are no consequences. And that's why women will continue to behave the way they do.
Yeah.
Because nothing is, that's crazy.
Mm.
Maybe he got hurt because he was trying not to hurt her. Everybody knows your cousin could have hurt her
Oh God, yeah.
seriously, but he chose not to.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy. See, things like that upset me. Because if that happened to my son, I swear to God, I'd be catching a charge. And
Yeah.
but
Me
I,
too.
I always tell my son, I will be willing to lose my life and my freedom over you. Just
It's
make
funny you said
sure
that.
that that is warranted, and make
Mhm.
sure you keep my canteen full if I do some time. you know?
Damn.
Mhm.
Remember that would
Yeah.
piss you off, by the way. But here's the funny part to this: that Dominican who threw the guard scissor at me, she used to say to her sons all the time. She had 2 boys and 2 girls. You never put a hand on your woman. I'm like, okay, I agree. But if she's beating the crap out of you, you still don't touch her. I'm like, wait a
Wow.
minute. So let's say Grace, for example, is beating the living shit out of me. I need to sit there and take it?
No.
Yeah, that's not right
No.
either. It doesn't go one way. It's a both way street. It's like cross the street. You look left,
Hmm.
you look right. Oh, it's clear to walk. Now you go. Same concept. Like if, for example, if again, Grace put my hands and I found out, I bet you she would probably say something, or even better, she'd probably go to the authorities. Like, yo, this guy's getting beat the crap out of him. For the record, she never put her hands on me, so let's not get there. But
Right?
yeah, but the point I'm trying to get to is why is it? Oh,
Okay.
all right, I'm ready. I got my lightsaber. I'm good. So, so my point is trying to get to it still not makes it right if you're a woman or male. In Greece, where I grew up, a man never puts hands on you, and a woman doesn't. If somebody puts hands on each other, your marriage and your relationship ends right there on the spot because you have no respect for each other. Simple.
Wow.
It only takes one time.
One, in my opinion, one time is too many.
Wow. But this court system in America don't take men seriously. In the same
There you go.
situation with paternity, same situation with child support, same situation with alimony, and women know this, and they use the system to take down and destroy men.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you don't realize how much we need our men. And we're out here destroying the same people that we're going to ask later when the shit hits the fan to protect us and provide for us. Okay.
You
I
see,
mean,
this
I
funny
don't know if you
saying.
guys saw it during COVID. Who was out there all the time at the grocery stores buying stuff, making sure the family was good? It wasn't the women because the women had to stay home with the children. It was the men out here fighting for sanitizer and Clorox and all that crap. Wait till it really gets serious out here.
See,
I
during
know. I'm
COVID, I
magnet.
was working the whole time. I never took even a day off. I worked literally
Me too.
7 days straight.
Essential worker.
I'm sorry.
I made a lot of money during COVID.
I worked 80 hours
And
during COVID. We had no cooks in hospitals. So I'm like, I'm making money. Shit, I'm not paying my bills. Unemployment didn't work that well for me, unfortunately. So there's the issues where those are some like one of the things like way I grew up in Greece was court system was different. First of all, you don't have one judge; you have 3 judges, and they talk between them. It says, and one kind of checks the other, like, you might be wrong here. You might give it a chance. So it's also an old saying. I think you guys are gonna appreciate this in Sparta, believe it or not. And
This is Sparta!
I'm sorry, I got to put that out there. The old saying, women just said to men before they went to war, with your shield or on your shield. It defends in pretty much an English version is you're carrying your shield or your body's gonna be carried on it. And I think some women forget that sometimes. Like the old days is women didn't go to war with us or in the fields. Like men were by themselves and they're fighting and they couldn't wait to get back to their wives.
Yeah.
Partially because they're being there on the field for too many hours with old men like for 6 months straight. It's gonna get a little lonely. You gotta need some female action when you get back.
Yeah, even they like love the we don't do this anymore. Like they would send those care packages, they would send letters and spray the letter with the
Yep.
perfume and kiss it with the lipstick. We don't do no intimate things like that. I mean, we got our text message, but but
And emojis.
yeah, we don't we're not intimate like we used to be. Like you said, Mr. Grooming, Peter, that men are just expendable, disposable. I can get another one. I have time. What's for me is what's for me. I think I deserve better. I want this, I want that. And we think that there's this litter and this whole population and sea of men, but it really isn't.
I think, and I know we all met through BMU channel. Shout out to him. And there are some great guys coming off that channel, and all of us have the same complaint. Like where is the good women that good men are? Like I know some of the guys are already married. There, the guys who are in the dating game, like myself, we're always asked the same question, like, "What? Hey, am I that ugly? Am I that fat or something? What's going on here?" And like I go
No.
on this, it's not that end of the day.
Not at all.
We're looking at the wrong spots. Maybe online
Right.
dating right now is so toxic and so
Mhm.
poisonly. One, you don't know what you're getting. B, you don't know if she's playing games with you. Or C, you don't know if you're getting catfished. So I don't want to be neither of the three. So I stay off those damn things. But when I did meet people over there, and like it was one disappointment after the other disappointment. I think that goes back to like which one was number one, I believe. Unhealthy relationships. When I went over, right before you jumped on, actually, we're talking about unhealthy relationship, and like,
Right.
I think it goes to that actually. If you're in a relationship you met online, you really know what you're getting. What kind of baggage she's coming with. Like I met some, I'm saying weird chicks. I'm talking understatement. Like I remember the one where she was telling me, yeah, this only lasted like talking to her maybe for maybe 3 days, and I cut it out. She goes to me, I have something to tell you. Like, okay, what's up? Like, she's like, how bad can it be? It can't be that bad. Like, it's really bad. Like, how bad can it be? Just said it out. He goes, I slept with my baby daddy's brother. I'm like, what?
Oh my
I go,
God.
this is going Jerry Springer crap. Like, no, we're good. I'm done. So,
Why is she telling you that? You could have kept that shit to yourself.
I'm glad
You,
she
you
told
know,
the crazy behind.
yeah,
Because she gonna sleep with somebody else on him. She had
mm-mm.
that tendency. If she do it like that for such a close, like relatives, what could happen to grooming and reviews?
you see my Jerry
I
Springer.
wait.
Let's get the chairs out. So let's go on the third topic. So the third one is people who are, how probably I can explain this. Casual sex without emotion can cause long-term trauma over a long
Mhm.
period of time. Who want to take the one first?
Go ahead, wife.
You said casual sex over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just it's so much layers to that. There's soul ties, and even in science saying that that a man's DNA can live inside a woman and for years and not disappear. And so she has all these bodies, all these different men in her. She crazy and she's admitting things that she's done. It's just, a process for her. It's not intimate. She or he, I would say both, they it lessens the significance and the sanctity of what the purpose of sex was for between a man and a woman to really genuinely care for each other, and that in the moment if they do happen to procreate, they're married and it's no deletions like you guys were talking last night. There's no unhappiness, burdens, the alimony, the child support. Like there's none of that. but we take it out of its context, we abuse it, we pervert it, and we end up in this type of situation. Nobody trusts each other. I'm sleeping with Harry, Tom, Dick, and nobody trusts each other, and rightly so, because you don't know, because they don't really value themselves, and they don't really value the aspects of relationship and intimacy.
I think it's
Mm.
good said. Um, the only feedback I would say to that is the way I grew up is casual sex is not casual sex. Only time you actually have sex with them if you're in a relationship or you're talking to them. You're something you have some kind of connection with that person. So
Mhm.
like here I hear a lot of it, and like I was surprised when I first heard this. Is a lot of men have a big body count. I'm like, really? I'm like, I'm ashamed. Like, not ashamed, literally, but when people
Mhm.
hear like, you're ashamed of your body count, I'm like, no, I'm happy with it. To be honest with you, because you know what? I'm not getting nervous during Father's Day. Someone's gonna be knocking my saying, "Hey, Daddy," I'm like, "Where do you come from?" I'm not scared to catch something. Like I can comfortably sleep with whoever I'm going to
Mm.
sleep with, and saying, "I'm only sleeping with you," and I know I have no problems there. But they say Jeffrey or Jose or whatever, he has a count of 95. You women are not going to take him that serious. Or am I wrong?
I don't, do men dispose their body counts? Because
Some men do,
according to
actually.
men, that makes them a man. That makes them experienced. They say they don't. Women don't want to be with an unexperienced man, and so I I I pose the question about discipline. Like, isn't that even important? Like, isn't your body a temple? Like, so why is having so many bodies such a trophy or something to brag about? I don't know. And I really would like to ask that question to more men, because I mean, wouldn't a like you said, wouldn't a woman want a man with a low body count that shows that he shows some type of preservative, like reservation for himself, that he's just not lending himself to any old person?
See, me, I can answer that comfortably. Me, lower number is makes me more than a man because I know I treat you in general. I'm talking about obviously the one I'm with and like happy. Like I do the old school stuff. I might
Mhm.
surprise you with flowers. I might open the door. I might say good morning, good morning, beautiful, honey. What the small little things go a long way with me versus the big things. Those
Right.
no, I don't understand. I never understood those little bit like, oh yeah, my girlfriend needs buy jewelry. Like, okay, how much you spend? Oh, 10K. How long you guys be dating? 1 month. Seriously? Like, hey, I know I'm not your type, but I could use a new car out there. Like, you can pay my car payment. Like, look at me like, and you see my numbers, and like, I've been made my number. It's 4. I'm not scared to say it. I'm very happy with that number because have we checked? Is these going out there now?
Yeah.
Grace,
And
you're up.
there's songs about it,
Oh, don't get me. Don't not even get me going with
right,
rap
Grace?
music.
What was that?
I said there's songs about it now. We're twerking to it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm, mm, mm.
All right, Grace, you're up. What's your feedback on this one?
I really wish that I wasn't taught people. I was taught to separate sex and love from a man. And
Wow.
I really wish that I wasn't taught that because it made me cold. It made me heartless. It made me not care. And then when I do put feelings in it, it blows up in my face. So which one's better? I protected my heart for 7 years. Had my fun and did whatever when I divorced my husband, and now when I finally let my guard down and really give myself to somebody, it's the hardest relationship I've ever been in. But it was much easier when you don't put feelings in it. But at the end of the day, we're still women, and it's hard. It's really hard because we are emotional creatures. We are receivers, whereas men are givers when it comes to sexual intercourse, and we hold more of their soul tie than a man does because we, absorb more. You guys insert us. And it's crazy how these young kids swap each other like they change their underwears. I mean, I don't have a high body count, but at the same time, it has to matter. You're exchanging bodily fluids with somebody. You're giving them the best of yourself.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to sit up here and preach and be that I was a saint. I didn't have my, what do they say, whole phase and did my thing, but nobody got hurt. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there comes a time when you have to say, look, you know, you got to slow it down. And like wife said, I'm out here I'm trying to teach the younger generation of what not to do. Don't be like me, be better. And when you know better, you do better. But these kids are very toxic nowadays. They
Mhm.
don't put no emotions, no feelings. It's like we're in a microwave era when it comes to relationships. Netflix and chill, chicken and fuck, Popeyes and
Ooh,
I mean, it really
right.
is like
It's
that.
that vulgar.
It's
Yeah.
like there's no more courting. And Peter, I love what you said. It's the little things for me. You can stop by my job and bring me a fresh iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. You getting some tonight? You know what I'm saying? It's the little things.
What about marinara
I
sauce?
love. Yes, I love roses, but the thing is, I love blue roses. So that
Mm.
makes it even kind of harder for a person to try to get for me. And the fact that you did that and thought about me, it's to me, it is the little things because it's easy to do big things. It's gone one day. Like Valentine's is coming up right now, and I see all these people spending all this money for this one day. So you treat that person like shit all year, but now you want to tell me you love me because it's Valentine's Day?
Right.
Valentine's Day should be every day when you're in a relationship, you know?
Here's the
But
thing about
it's
Valentine's. I hate that holiday because I think it's a business holiday.
why?
Uh, Hear me out. I prefer to do something on a daily basis. Text you saying, I love you. Text you, say, I'm thinking about you. Text you, just saying, hey, you drive me crazy, but I care about you. Or send you flowers at work. Or just pop up, like, here, like, for example, you like coffee. Here's your iced
Mm,
coffee. Just come out of the blue, open the door, saying, or make you dinner. Like, you're coming home, like, I'm a chef and trade, coming home and go, like, you know, I'm kind of like tease you a little bit, like, babe, what's for dinner? You're like, oh man, can we take out, like, no, because dinner's already made in the kitchen, and like already said, flowers, candles, everything's done. You're looking at me like you're an asshole, but I love you, like small shit like that. What happened to the
yeah.
old school men like that?
They're being raised by these modern women.
I have a different theory.
You know what I'm saying? It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
These kids today are not seeing a good example of a marriage. They're not seeing
Right.
their mother love their man or respect a man.
Ooh.
It's all men ain't shit. We don't need men. Fuck men. You know what I'm saying? That's all these kids are hearing. Oh, girl, you use a man for what they got. If he can't buy you a Birkin bag, he ain't shit. I mean, it's all toxic.
Right.
We're not, we take so much time to teach how a man should treat a woman, but do we ever take the time to teach women how to treat men?
Exactly.
I went on dates with my son. I showed him what to do. I showed him the difference of taking a girl to Chili's. This is a girl you take on a first date because you're just getting to know them. Then I took him to our favorite restaurant. It's you easily drop $300-400 at this steak place. I said this is the kind of restaurant you take a girl for her birthday or for her anniversary or just to thank her because she's been giving you some consistently for 6 months. It has to mean something. But my son who's 17 works hard for his little money is gonna expect one of these modern women to take him to Ruth Chris. Some of them can't even pronounce filet mignon, but you want to go to Ruth Chris. Come on, man. Come on. Cheesecake Factory I love Cheesecake Factory. I would be so happy, but these unrealistic expectations, social media
Right.
has warped the mindset of this young generation. It really has. I love, what I like, Peter? If you tell me we're going to a drive-in, you get drive-in, you get a bucket of chicken, a six-pack, and a box of Raisinets, and we're good. I'm happy. Because we're watching the movie in our private domain. If things get heated, it can get heated. That's so much fun. It's like we're at picnics on the beach. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to that?
That's
Going
where
to
I
the
was gonna go with
pier,
this.
eating ice cream, gelato. You know what I'm saying? It's like, where is that? There's no romance. There's no courting anymore. And I tell people all the time, there's piss in a dating pool, and even some drops of, you know what? Because it's really bad. It
So
is.
here
You men
is
have it hard, and women have it hard.
Right.
I have a theory, and you may agree or disagree, and I respect either one. My theory was when I was growing up in high school, half these girls were pregnant. Teen moms.
Wow.
You cannot sit there and tell me a teen mom is ready to raise an adult because she's not even raising herself yet. A
Hmm.
kid is raising a kid. This is why the world is fucked up. One of the
Mm,
reasons. There's other multiple reasons we can get into for hours, but one of the reasons, like you're telling me, a 16-year-old is ready to raise a baby. No,
no.
I would say out of 20 girls I know had teen mom, only 1%. I would say, hats to you. You did a great job. It's not too many of them.
Yeah. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Babies having babies.
Right.
Bingo. And that's where I think where we fall short at this point, as as a society. Like the compassion's not there anymore. Like you say, you like the small things. For example, like except going to Chili's, something like what about I get coffee and take a walk on a park and just have a conversation? Get to know me first. Hey, the worst case scenario,
Meet
you
and
like, you know what?
greets.
I don't like you, but I like your
I
friend.
call them simple meet and greets because I don't want a man to spend money on me if I'm not vibing him. You know what I'm saying? Or I know it's not going to go anywhere. Now, did I used to do that when I was in college and hungry and date guys just to feed me? Again, absolutely. I had one guy that he didn't figure it out till 6 months in. 6 months. That was his only job. I had him in my phone food.
That's messed up, Grace.
I know, but I'm not going to sit here and be so this holier than thou because we all have done it. But now I know better, and I do better, and I'm just trying to be out here and trying to show people you
Right.
got to do better because it's oh, I used to like call McDonald's and say, "You guys forgot my two double cheeseburgers." I did it. Oh, well, come get it. Boom, there was lunch. You know, two double cheeseburgers. I would buy a small Coke and a fry. I mean, that's survival skills. But at the end of the day, karma is a bitch. You
Yeah.
know, it does come full circle.
Yeah.
But as long as you learn from your mistake and you keep it moving, that's what matters. And you teach others to do better.
Right.
But I also feel the single parent epidemic. You
Yeah.
know, young ladies would rather be baby mamas than wives. They're
Mhm.
not being raised to be wives. Okay. I have to say for the sons too, they're not raised to be husbands because they're too busy trying to be husbands to their mothers.
Mm,
You know, so
yeah.
it's a combination of what you said, babies having babies. It's a combination of babies not seeing a good example of a good relationship. You know, we don't respect the institution of marriage anymore. I mean, I'm gonna share something with you guys. My guy friend said, Grace, we're gonna go out tonight, and I'm gonna wear a ring. And he got more play and more phone numbers when he had a wedding ring on than when he didn't have one on. That's crazy to me. That really pissed me off because there should come a time where the side chick should take responsibility. I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the days, they used to stone to death both people, the adulterer
Mm-hmm.
and the
Right.
It
adulteress.
was illegal actually at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my loyalty is not to her. Okay, well, remember, you're going to get married one day
Yeah.
and it's going to come full circle to you because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it happened to me.
Mhm.
Okay, and then my best friends told me that you better sit your ass down somewhere and swallow this pill
Yeah.
because remember all the shit you did when you was younger. Okay, and I forgave him the first time, and it didn't work out because he did it again the second time a year later. But at least I know I can walk away knowing that I tried, knowing that I forgave him, you know, and tried to work it out. But you can't, you know, after the everybody deserves a second chance. We're human and we make mistakes. But that second time, now it was intentional. Now you just don't give a fuck. You know? And I had to go. That same day I found out he had to go.
Is
It's
there a
no
way that we can hold on to these men and make them pay, even though they're going to be out there and like buy me extra roses this week, or I don't know.
I,
The
to
same
who?
stuff.
Somebody you're dating?
No, to married too.
Well, when you're married, you can't stop dating. You got to continue. You
Mm.
see, my dad used to always say, it's easy to get a girl, but the trick is, can you keep them?
Mm.
I used to hear little things that he would tell my brother. He would be like, "You see your mother? She's not going anywhere because I make sure every need and want is accounted for, that she won't even have time to think of another man." And he was right. My parents were married 37 years. He was a Sicilian. He was overbearing and sometimes controlling, but I learned this because he was so territorial.
Mm.
Italian men, when they love hard, they protect, and they don't care who is in their way. If their loved ones is in danger, I mean, I saw it with me, my brothers, his wife, which is my mother. Family members. He didn't care. He didn't care if the guy was 6'5" he would still be all in their face. But we don't have that kind of integrity nowadays. It's very
Yeah.
few and far between.
See, I have to jump in here because I'm 100% Greek, born and raised, so we're the same way. Greeks and Italians are very, very similar.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my grandmother actually raised me, not my mother, because my mother was here making, trying to work for my father and provide, food on the table. In other words, and they were the same way. And like I didn't get a chance to meet my grandfather because he passed away when I was very young. I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Oh.
So my grandma used to talk about so highly. He was during World War II. Your grandfather used to do this. He used to run up to the mountains, go hide from the Nazis, and come back down. He used to tell me all these stories. And my grandma used to say, "You open a door for a woman." And one time I got whop behind the hand. I'm like, "Oh, what the hell did I do?" Like, what did you not do? Open the door,
Yeah,
and so on. And so the old school way. That's how I was raised. And maybe we should go back
absolutely.
to that time again. So
Yeah.
I
There's
want
some good.
to welcome my man on the stage. You're up, my man.
Oh, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're in
Hello,
loud and clear.
Cam Likely.
Yeah, I'm not your favorite when I hear Attack of the Manosphere talking points. I'm not a favorite person.
Who,
But
me or you?
No, that's all I've been hearing. Just the Manosphere talking points. But
like I
Hmm.
said originally
Okay,
when I first started today's show, it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. We're all gonna respect each other and respect each other's time
no,
and
that's
stuff
cool.
like that. So I don't have to like what you say. You don't like what I say, but I still
No,
respect
that's
you
cool.
because we're all in here together. Well, if I'm wrong, please correct me right now.
No, I was gonna ask a question.
Go
I
for it.
was listening to you and Mr. Bennett's conversation. You're talking about the
mm,
abuse from the corporal punishment,
Hmm.
and I'm totally against it from a psychology standpoint, from a leadership, every standpoint. Could that be a part of why you actually tolerated some of the situations you were in? Did it become a norm to where it's not that bad comparing to what you already dealt with? Meaning, a lot of people do what they're comfortable with.
Look,
So,
I had a lot of times to think through this and went through therapy and everything. The
mhm.
reason I put up with it, and I'm gonna be very open and very honest, I don't think I
Okay,
was good enough for anybody. Truth. The
say it
reason
again.
I didn't think I was good enough for anybody. That's why I put up with it.
mm,
Okay,
I put up with it because I was told. Even my own family has put me down. My cousins has told me, you're fat. You need a bra." And that hurt. I was verbally abused by most of my family.
right. Shame.
So that's why I put up with it.
Right. That's
Now,
shame, which is
go ahead.
mental.
I'm sorry.
Shame is another form of abuse. It's mental abuse,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I
and
didn't know at
neglect
that
is the
time.
other one.
I'm
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead. No, physical abuse,
Hmm.
shame, and neglect are the three-headed monster of destruction that's tearing up kids. And what tears up is what you see walking around the adults that you see.
I cannot sit here and tell you how many times people have made comments to me, my own family. I think
Hmm.
when it comes from directly from your family, not, I don't rephrase. I don't think I know. I know when it comes directly from your family, it hurts more than a stranger, like you don't know
Of
from the street,
course.
and it hits. And like ever you put like alcohol on a wound times 10, and that's how bad it can get. And could handle the physical abuse, and a lot of times I deserved it. I did some stupid shit as a kid. Sometimes I'm like the overboard. Sometimes was I just walked in at a bad time, and unfortunately, I can sit back and talk about it now. And actually, hopefully, somebody's listening and learning from this. That's all I can do.
Hey, salute to you.
Thank you.
I speak against it. I speak against all three. And then they try to come and shame me. And then they come try to throw the same stuff at me. But I speak out against it mainly because we already know the men hate the women hate the men, and most of the people hate themselves. But ain't nobody speaking up for the kids. And if they hate themselves, hate the women, hate black women, hate white women, hate, what do you think they're doing to the kids when they log off?
Yeah.
And somebody got to speak for them. And they talk this protect and providing thing. And abuse isn't protection. Who's protecting you from this fake protector? Who's protecting the kids from these fake protectors? But no, I see the effects of it. How to say it? Aside from trolling, I smell energy from 400,000 miles away. Trolls know who you are, people. Trolls know your energy. They know you got confidence. They can tell how much money, all this stuff. We see, we know. But some things are just not cool. And we see the effects of it. But what's worse is going through something and it being hell and then watching others go through the same thing and not say anything. Or taking your pain and trying to inflict it on other people and take them down with you.
Right.
Yeah. But shout out to grooming.
Can I ask you, Scam?
Yeah.
Okay, so in trying to, okay, we know that people in general in that family, we have like trauma from our families, and we try to break certain aspects, but there are some things that were beneficial that, if my dad got on me about certain things, not saying like the abuse part, but he made it adamant that you got to stay focused in the books, or he used his voice instead of his hands to say, hey girl, get focused, or you'll end up like this, or you'll end up like that. How can people balance or use alternative ways to the best ability to not give trauma to the next generation? How can they do that?
Step one is always identify the problem. Most people fail right there. They're just reacting. They're going to have a children off of reaction. They're dating a woman, they're dealing with everything. Everything is just reaction. They're not thinking anything through. Let's just say it is man and woman.
Okay.
And man or woman, and man and woman are disciplinarians of some sort. Because man leaves the house, woman is now in charge of the household.
Oh, yeah.
The way you communicate with your children, first, the way you communicate with yourself.
Right.
Hey, I believe in myself. Hey, I believe in my spouse. I have a plan for my children in my life. Another thing is preparation. You knew the baby was coming. Trust me, you knew. When your belly started swelling up, you knew. Just like if you know you're getting a job, you know you're going to the military, you might want to get in shape. You know you're going to college, you might want to study. What preparation are people doing for children before they get here? There are psychologists. There's as much YouTube they can get on how much the men's and the women's beating each other up. What are you going to do to look up the psychology of children?
Right. So afterthought, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's resources, but I don't have children. I was looking up stuff now about communicating with toddlers. I don't have any, but preparation and proper communication and proper leadership. Think of it as yourself. Who do you want leading you? You want an 8-foot tyrant inflicting pain on you if you park in the wrong parking space. If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't be doing it to a child who doesn't have a choice. So it's like the parent, they go to work, they go to the club, they go to the babysitter's house, do whatever, then come and inflict the very pain on the children
Mm.
that they don't want inflicted on themselves. I
Right.
believe in modeling behavior. If that's how you think discipline should be done, then if you park in the wrong spot, if the wife burns the food, stand in front, get some 3 6 foot men to beat you right there in the living room and show the children how that actually really works. That's model behavior. But if you're not modeling it, why would you go and do it to the children? Then wait till they're 14, 15 and stop doing it because now they can stab you and shoot you. Now
Mm.
you know what's up. Now you're going to stop and start being their friend. Okay. Really? Then you say they don't need it. No, you scared of it. That's what it is. That time you whoop them and they give you that look, that's when the mom stop.
Mm-hmm.
But just got to do better. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
More research. I was a teacher in education. They talked to us about correcting and redirecting behavior. Corporal punishment was not in there. All the leadership development stuff, corporal punishment is not in there. It's not there. The Bible, it's not there. Spare the rod, spoil the child does not mean put hands. What Mr. Bennett covered it the other day. It does not mean put hands on the kid.
That's
No,
right.
that is not what it means.
That's right.
The rod is to comfort and it's for guidance. But all the stuff speaking, all the references about how to speak positivity, modeling behavior, all these things are there.
Right.
Do the opposite. I'll leave it at there. That's all I got.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Scam, do you think, as you're saying, would you say what you're describing is gentle parenting or just don't be abusive in your power as a parent?
I use this example.
Okay.
I taught 4th grade. I was first year teacher and I 1 year and done. I wasn't your greatest teacher. I won't lie. You got nothing to prove. But I studied secondary education. I subbed high school. I didn't know 4th grade or elementary. I got hired 2 weeks before school started.
Wow.
So yeah, I know nothing. I didn't know you had to walk them down up and down the hall. Yeah,
I do.
yeah. I didn't know you had to walk them up and down. I didn't know nothing. But anyway, classroom management, it was a struggle. And I come military, and I just know, all right, this happens. You call the parents, you do this, you do this, you do this. I didn't know that a lot of stuff done changed.
Oh yeah.
Also, it's like, why don't you go and observe Miss Brown's class? Observe Miss Adams' class. So 30 minutes ago, observe Miss Adams. She became teacher of the year. 5th grade. I had 20 students in my class. She had 30. She might be 5'3". You walk in there and it was silent. Only communication. Hey, make sure you put your name on that paper. She was organized. She talked with confidence. And this is a woman. So I don't do this. Women can't do this. Men can't. I don't do that. Effective is effective. The classroom was run in order. She properly planned. She's properly organized. She's been in the game 10 years. But she spoke in a manner that they understood. She spoke in a manner with confidence and with senses of direction, and they followed. Meaning, you can be effective by just your mouth. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Effective communicators, the very ones that the women are chasing after, the very ones that the men want to be, the very ones that people want to follow, they exist. They have something and they're doing something that's effective and they're not inflicting pain on everybody.
Right.
But that example just told me, okay, it can be done. And I look at my childhood, I'm like, I didn't need to be whooped. Somebody would have told me something and I knew I would. I was just trying to figure the world out. That was it. And I wasn't beat half to death or whatever, but my parents didn't know anything else. When they got older, I'm 7, 8, 10, 11, as they're in church, like they find out people do other things. They didn't know anything else.
Right.
Punishment. Let me try it. Take toys away. Oh, make them do it. Oh, okay.
Right.
Behavior got better as less corporal punishment. As corporal punishment away, behavior, communication, and critical thinking, decision making all went up with all three of us.
I can relate all to this because as growing up, like I said on the green line, that's all I knew. Like you said, so screaming, and yelling was normal in the house.
That
But
part.
sometimes I know you can't help it. It just Grace and me can relate. We're both European Greeks and Italians. Woo! Don't get you guys in the same room together. We're fucked. But even now, I love my mom to death. She's fighting cancer. Sometimes I have to raise my voice. That's the only way I can get through to her because she's the most stubborn woman I've ever met in my life. But I love her to death. It just if they talk to me a different way, or told me a different way, maybe I'll come out a little differently. Like when I was coming up to school, I had at the time was not diagnosed because the school system failed me. I have a reading and spelling disability. They found out 2 weeks before I graduated high school. By the way, you have a good. We missed it. Sorry. That's the exact words I said to my mom.
Wow.
And my mom, she goes to me, "What did he say in Greek to me?" And I'm like, "Pretty much, we need a this and this." She goes, "No, it can't be." I'm like, "How can I miss it?" I'm like, "I guess I did somehow." I still struggle with it sometimes. Like, you guys got my emails and my text messages. You better look at it. I'm like, huh? And I know it. But it's something I work on by making me the man who I am today. So when I teach somebody, I mentioned before, me and my wife had this conversation on the side once. I'm a karate teacher. I get to that level. If you're talking up and talking down to them, they're not going to respect you. But if you get on your knees and talk to them one-on-one like this, they're going to take you more seriously. They're going to be like, except calling them like, sensei this, sensei that, like, like, call me dude. I'm out of my uniform. Like, I took him for ice cream one time. And he got sensei. Oh, I'm not your sensei right now. I'm just Pete. Just call me Pete when I'm not in uniform. In uniform is a different story because your parents pay me to teach you how to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. You have to know when to cut the apple in different places.
Right.
It's not the hard, but people have a hard time because the authority. They want to be, we're men. We have to be in charge. Who? Yeah, okay. You can who you want, but guess what, buddy? Whoever you are out there, like, kindness goes a long way sometimes. You can win a war with kindness versus banging your chest. I don't give a shit about that stuff. To me, it's what is in here. That's what matters. If I'm wrong, and you guys will be happy to correct me.
No, you're actually on point. That very get on the level, that doesn't just apply physically, it applies mentally. It applies old generation, young generation. It applies parent to children. Um, in education, they taught us if they don't learn the way you teach the way that they learn.
Mm. Yes.
um, so you got a 5-year-old who doesn't know something, or doesn't comprehend something, or does something incorrectly, which is probably what you taught them to do, or did not teach them to do.
Right.
And you don't like it, and you inflict pain.
Right.
So now they don't know what to do.
Right.
But they do know that inflicting pain resolves, or at least they believe that inflicting pain resolves problems. So what you think they're gonna do when they go to school and somebody gets out of line? You taught them how to do it. Or the disrespect, the yelling, the screaming, these bad kids, blah, blah. You told them they were bad.
Mm-hmm.
So they believe it, and they're going to prove you right. Or the disrespect. You taught them that disrespect was acceptable. So when they're big enough, they're probably going to disrespect you or try you.
This
Well, only thing saving you is that you colonized them for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but you taught them how to be disrespectful. They didn't, and they're not going to forget. It's in their subconscious mind. You can't get that out. But all this stuff I see from panel to panel, panel to panel. 10 people on the screen. Pain, abuse, pain. ego.
Mm.
Ego, impatience, pain. 5 minutes later, pain, pain, ego, pain, confidence, pain. And the lights just keep changing throughout all conversations. It's just a regular thing, but it's also real life.
Right.
This comes from somewhere.
Right.
Believe it or not, all the reckless stuff I might say, I'm not intentionally judgmental. A lot of it is just jokes and clowning. But the little judgment that I do have, I've been trying to get it out, but that's in my subconscious mind. A lot of times, riding around people who think they're better. I was taught indirectly, you don't want to be like these people over here. Look at this house. You want to live in that? You want to be like the intention was to be motivating. Hey, you can do better. You can, but what wasn't taught is, hey, you're not better than them.
Mm.
That wasn't taught. So I became judgmental. Didn't know where it came from. Didn't know till I was 19.
Who broke it for you?
I was in the army, came home from leave. Me
Mhm.
and two friends. One was in college, one was 18. Hey man, I was all depressed. I hated the army at the time. I just didn't care. I was reckless. Just depressing depression, recklessness. Just don't care. I just don't care. Let's go to the strip club. All right. Couldn't get in. You thought you could be 18, gotta be 21. People in the parking lot. Hey, y'all want to go to a party? I'm like, man, what is this? You gonna get robbed? I'm like, you know what? What the hell? Let's go. I don't care. Y'all want to go?
Why
So
am
we
I not
went.
surprised with
Oh,
you? I'm not surprised at all.
It's three girls stripping or whatever. Y'all tip us, we'll strip.
okay.
I was never. I'm still not strip club. I might have been three times my whole life.
Okay.
They dancing, doing whatever. First girl comes out, comes to talk, and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm looking for her. I didn't know. I just straight insulted her. Told her, hey, you ain't good enough. I want that one. I didn't notice that. My friends did. Then the one who I did want, she starts dancing on me, talking, and afterwards she's talking to me, and I wouldn't talk to her. It was
Oh
just
man.
vague. It was just vague. I didn't even notice. She was real pretty too. Got in the car and they let me have it all the way home.
Wow.
It's like, how you gonna disrespect that chick like that? She just trying to dance and do her thing. You don't know what they come from. The other one, when she was talking, she was talking about how much she hated this. She was trying to get into college, not doing this no more. She was real uncomfortable. She was like 18. I mean, some people are actually moldable and they want something different. That does exist.
Right.
People out of control, and then there's people on a good path. But there's
Right.
people in between. They're gonna look like they're out of control,
Mm.
but they don't want to be there. Those are the most important people because they actually want to do something different. They
Right.
just appear the way that they are, but if you talk to them, you find out no, that's not who they are.
Mm.
But judging on me, them strippers, our friends blasted me like 30 minutes straight. Then sat at the table and when I got home, blasted me some more. But I just didn't know.
Mm.
Then I got it. Years and years and years, I had to realize, more and more stories, more and more life. You just start to get it. But on the one-on-one, when you get time to listen to somebody, is where
Right.
you get the story.
Exactly. You
Like
don't have time on the panel. Yeah, you
in the
don't have.
heat of whatever, you just gotta react. It's just whatever. It's just
Right.
junk. But like this is a slower conversation. I can hear, see, and feel what's going on. But
Mhm.
in the junk, nah, you can't. And I come for dust anyway.
I'll be straight with you, dude. Like, I love going on the BMG channel. I love going to a barbershop. But sometimes you need to have a civil, calm conversation because you get the message delivered a little better versus going back and forth, and like I got cut off again.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Like again, I know that's barbershop, and that's how we men sometimes need to talk. But sometimes you just need a civil conversation. Like this, oh, take your turn, civil, and have a conversation. But you don't have to like it, but you have to respect it still. That's one thing I'm very proud of the channel where it's come from. what I started just doing beards to was evolving now. I'm very proud of that, and I'm proud of the fact that we all respect each other's opinions at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, I disagree with a lot of stuff. I have my opinion. I believe what I believe. I see what I see. I feel what I feel.
I know I got more hair than
It's
you.
not. It's not negotiable when it comes to respecting it. Believe it or not, I do respect that other people have opinions and they feel or think how they think. Now, if they take a shot at me, of course, you know it's coming back. That's what I do.
Hang on, I got some for that. Hang on.
And-
All right, hang on.
I want a
Turn
prop.
it into a Spartan.
I don't have
I'm
a
ready.
Spartan, but I got a
I'm
feather.
ready. Hang on.
This is Sparta!
It's metal too.
Wow, I need one.
No, I've been around in these space. I done ruined, I done destroyed Trigger Mike's platform about 15 times. DD Woods panel. I done been 1-on-6. I come from fight. I started on before it was Lapeef and Fight Club. That's where I came from. So I come from the dust panels.
I don't even know how to operate, but it's good to be around those environments because, like you said, I'm an in between person. I There's only so much, like you said, stuff and toxicity that you just can't take because you don't see any like resolution. There's no solution, and then they just talk and then carry on. You're like, oh my god, well, how are we gonna move forward if we're
You're
not
not.
talking about those? So sometimes being that person, it's like I found myself that, okay, I'm not showing up for a period of 3 weeks, or now it's a month, and people are, hey, where you been? And it's just overwhelming because that's not my intention. That's not what I want to contribute to the world, and that there are good people, like you said, there's people that are out here in the in between. There's people out here that are really trying to actively, you know, bring good in the world, inspire change, what we've learned, and to help the next generation. Because, like you said, who's protecting the children? We're not. None of the conversations are about the children. It's about judging all the Gen Zers and all the things, and nobody's actively out there helping them. Like, are you going out there? Are you mentoring? Are you, spending your time out there with real, actual people?
See, I
Yeah.
remember the one
Well,
barbershop
what
where
I've learned to do in these YouTube streets, I rock with those who rock with me.
Hmm.
At the beginning when I was green and trying to get my name out there, like Lapeef, they won't fuck with me. They put me on the panel a couple times, and then that's it. But that's okay. I still have a membership with them. You know what I'm saying? I use it for marketing purposes, but I've really learned that I just rock with those who rock with me. And that relationship in YouTube, sometimes they're very short lived. You
Yeah.
get what you can and you keep it moving and you don't take it personal.
Right.
You can't. You,
Right.
you, you you can't, because one minute you have this opinion, and then I see that same person who talks shit on my show change their whole perspective on a different show. I'm like, wow, really? And when I get good at clipping, I'm going to be clipping, and putting people next to each other. But you can't take a lot of the stuff seriously on YouTube. Scam, I do like you because you say the things that people think and want to say, but don't have the balls to say it.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, did he just really say that? But I was thinking it. Like I was deemed a black woman basher. I'm to the point now where I don't give a fuck. If that's what you think, then that's your problem. Then I must have said something that struck a nerve. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. So that used to bother me a lot. And I was very careful how I spoke, walked around eggshells. But now I'm up to the point, I'm on a mission. And if you don't like what I say, you can unsubscribe, not like. But it's just people switch up on you, the switch and bait,
Why?
and you just have to recognize that.
Why did they call you a black woman basher?
Because I'm talking on topics that they feel I'm not qualified to talk about. All
No
they
one.
see is all they see is the fair skin and my hair, but you don't know what I am. You don't know what I've been through. You just don't.
Yeah.
I've gotten more reverse discrimination and racism.
Mhm.
Yes, I don't know the struggle of being a black woman, but I still have a struggle. A
Mhm.
struggle is a struggle is a struggle. Like on Thursday, my show is about colorism. I'm not celebrating Black History Month because there's nobody celebrates it. We even got the shortest month. Did you guys ever think about that? Damn, they. So I'm talking about things that really need to be put out there. I'm talking about colorism, and colorism is not just in the Black community; it's in the
Yeah.
Hispanic community. It's
Yeah.
in all the communities.
Yes,
Then
it
I'm
is.
talking about racism. Then I'm talking about parent alienation, and things that really need to be talked about. Yeah, we can celebrate Black History Month, but then it'll be forgotten on March 1st.
Right.
Most people don't even know how many Black inventors we have and
Yeah.
how much African Americans have contributed to this society. You know why most people don't know? Because they don't care. You know.
Mhm.
So what do you think of my answer, Scam? That's why I was deemed a black woman basher because they
I've
felt I wasn't qualified to
seen the
talk
comment.
about some of the topics that I talk about or say.
Two things. Number one, the people who are so qualified to talk about stuff say stupider stuff than the unqualified people,
Yep.
and they know it,
Absolutely.
and they don't like when I say that. But all right, going back to the beginning, the manosphere is a space designed to keep men away from women. They might as well be teaching them to date each other. The manosphere, I've never heard this stuff in my life. About 38.6% of men and the men's, the feminists. I've never heard groups of men form together in alliance. 50 men going to fight three baby mamas with curlers on their head and then losing. Then losing the fight. That's not what I'm used to.
Mhm.
But um to blame the women's, to blame the kids. If something went wrong, find a gay person, blame it on them, or find a woman and blame. I'm not used to this type of stuff, just in real life. So with that, being called simp, beta, whatever, and then I got to roast the person who said it. It's the norm, or they kick me off just for actually being attracted to women. I don't have high expectations of anything in the spaces.
Mhm.
So people are all the way out of control. The men, the women, the dog, the cat, the goldfish, all
The
of them.
fish.
But I'm not used to. I mean, people I'm around, we actually do some thinking. There's something in the brain cells. Dudes sound like Kevin Samuels mixtapes. Simp, beta, pander, derailing. Simp, beta, pander, you're derailing. Baby
Oh, that's what they say
mamas.
about you?
No, they only say the same 8 things on repeat.
Okay,
Just
sorry.
roll a dice. If I roll 6, simp. If you roll a 3, 82.6% of women this. Roll a 4, women are masculine. It's the same 8 things to the point where you got 23-year-olds talking about divorce in Alaska.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
you never had a girlfriend. You telling me about the divorce stats in Alaska and you ain't had no girlfriend. What you talking about?
Does the penguin
And
count?
they quoting these talking points verbatim. I'm like, dude, get off the internet.
Oh yeah.
Well, they all want 100,000, six figures, six. Really? Go. What city you live in? Phoenix. Go right over to the local apartments next to where you live at night. 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom cheap apartments and see if there's men and women going in them apartments. They ain't making 6 figures.
Mhm.
I remember a couple years ago, I was on Security Boss channel.
Mhm.
I went out to throw the trash in the dumpster. It's a regular apartment, $1,600 a month in Tampa. And it was a dude that just valet trash. So a dude comes in the truck at nighttime, picks up the trash in every apartment, puts it in the dumpster.
Nice.
So the dude is at the dumpster with a truck full of trash. and there's a woman standing outside keeping him company while he's doing his job. He's not making six figures.
Right.
I bet you he's marrying. If he doesn't marry that woman, he's a damn fool. But that woman was rocking with that man. He wasn't high value, and I didn't hear any talking points when they were communicating. I didn't hear any talking points. Are you going to submit? Because I'm masculine. That's not what. That wasn't. No.
That reminds me. Thanks. I got to put my trash out. Thank you.
I'm gonna be waiting next to the barrels on Tuesday. It makes them feel good. Nobody- these people are humans as well. You know what I'm saying? And they're out here. They're not in this glorious job. You know, they do their job. Some people, they don't want to smell like trash all day, but that's what they do to get by or to provide for themselves or their family. And they're human as well. And to tell them or to spend time with them or, hey, you look handsome. I thought women like men in uniform. Hey, what happened to that? You know, maybe it's fine. Maybe that went out the door. Now we want six figure and all that stuff. I thought we wanted a man in a uniform. But
Does
to
Jeff count?
see yes, you know, to see them smile. I see men, they just one guy, he just had a just frown on his face. I said, you're very handsome. His smile. I wasn't trying to sleep with him. I wasn't trying to be a pick me. I just seen that he just needed a little bit of encouragement. You know, I'm like, how you doing, brother? You know, like they're people too. And I get, and me and Grace, you get called a pick me for just treating men with decency and respect, respecting a man
Mm-hmm.
in his position. And we complain about the dating scenes, whatever. We can't be the man all the time. You know what I'm saying? You have to let the men lead, and sometimes that is their silence. Sometimes that is having understanding. Not saying like a pushover, but they love. I mean, men deserve respect and understanding, and you
And
can give that
and
to anyone.
If it's the men in a lot of these spaces, don't let these men lead. You'll be in the gutter so fast.
Well, I can mention at least five of them off my head right now. But what I was gonna say was what you two women on this panel are saying today are right, um, because you guys show respect. Like even listen, my job is not the easy job in the world. I have to deal with so many different diets. My uniform is filthy mess by the time I get out there. I stink after cooking and all that stuff. But sometimes just saying, hey, you have like even let's say, hey, you have a nice beard, or hey, I like the cologne you wear, or hey, X, Y, and Z, whatever, or like tattoos, whatever. It does a little pick me up, could make your day so much better.
Oh yeah.
Could save
absolutely.
somebody's life, believe it or not. You don't know what somebody's going through, but saying those words might, he might be thinking craziness to the point he would think about deleting himself. Then all of a sudden, you just said that one word, like, hey,
Yeah.
good morning, Hanson, or good morning, beautiful, whatever.
That
You
is
changed
true.
that right there.
Right. Exactly.
It's funny to me when I go get called a pick me because I said, well, isn't that the end result that you're looking for to get picked? I mean, it's like when we're all playing kickball and we are getting picked to be on the team, you get pissed off because you're the last one to get picked. I mean, isn't it the point? Don't you want to get married? Don't you want to get picked? So I
Right.
just laugh at them. I said, yeah, pick me all day, but I'll be the one chick that'll have protection and covering, and you will be the first one to go bye bye because
Yeah.
you ain't got nobody protecting you and covering you.
Yeah.
So
Just being
go.
honest, and if I had a daughter, cousin, whatever,
Mhm.
and they were talking about they're looking to be picked, and they came in these spaces, I'll
Mhm.
tell them cancel their internet provider.
Oh,
These
yeah,
spaces, no. There's a few solid people in these spaces,
Yeah.
but the overall average or whatever of the manosphere, I would not tell a woman to go in there looking for a man. No, get out of there.
I think
Yes.
Jedi Mike
Run
is
for
one
your
of the
life.
few lucky guys who actually met his wife off the streets, on the YouTube streets, of course, I'm talking about. And when I heard that, I'm like,
Jedi Mike is solid.
I'm sorry?
Jedi Mike is solid.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. BMU, another great guy. Paul, another great guy. I can go on and on. There are some great guys out there.
Oh yeah.
And there's some great women. Like from what the little bit I know from both of you, I would say you're the type of both of you guys are women that I would say to recommend to any guy says that is a woman you can wife up and be happy and start a family. I can safely say that comfortably. But finding that on a everyday thing, good luck, whoever you are. That's all I gotta
Right?
say. It's so hard to find it now. And that goes to the
Yeah.
next topic. Actually, it goes to men's mental health in their sexual
Yeah.
and everyday life. We don't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Skin,
I
you want to
try
take it?
my best
Go ahead.
when when I went through my, separation from my husband, it was very hard because I I wanted him to stay because we had 3 children together. And, I tried to accept accountability. Okay, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, let's move forward. Let's just move forward. Boom. You did what you did. That's fine. Second chance. But when he ran away and left, that really hurt me because like I didn't feel protected. I didn't feel the children felt protected. So it's like, okay, I still got to move forward. I still got to raise the children and raise them to respect their dad, even though they don't really have a full understanding of what's going on, to, have that balance because now it's already imbalanced. And so you're trying to manage the children's emotions and your emotions and not be bitter so that they don't, absorb that, and disrespect the dad. Um, it was hard because I was, in my feelings too, but I'm like, oh God. So I had to do a lot of learning. I had to do a lot of accountability, what I've done and not to do those things again and to just really understand that my healing and what I contribute, I don't want to teach those to my children, and my sons, and but there comes a point where I have to let the dad step in because I can only go so far with the boy. I can't give him that rite of passage. I don't know about what happens or how he's going to feel when his thing gets hard in the morning. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that I don't know how to be a man about, and a lot of women, they want to control that and not allow the children to see the dad. So it's like it gives the children this messed up mentality and mental traumas and all this stuff, and the dad has traumas because he can't see the kid. It's so bad, and the men, they just go through so much. They suffer in silence. The children suffer in silence because they love you and they don't want to overstep because you're mom, but they have these feelings, you know what I'm saying? So we don't heal until like 20, 50 years later. And that's horrible, And so I really try my best to take accountability daily. I try my best to check in with my sons. I try my my best to check in with my daughter, their dad, and try to have a cordial relationship so that he doesn't feel like he doesn't have access to them. I don't know, but it's not how I want it to be, but I still have to remain that person in my life because I don't want to what do you call that, corrupt the mindset or the outlook of my sons and their view of their dad and the view of themselves and the world. But it's hard, but that mental health is something else, and I don't know that that's it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
People don't realize how much toll it takes on mentally. Like knowing you did everything in your power to
Right.
keep that person inside. My personal problem is I don't want to be alone. I was always being scared of being alone. It's something I always grew up
Right.
fearing. So like you didn't do nothing wrong, and the person
No,
who
no,
cared for
no,
you.
no, don't say that. I no, don't say that I have not done anything wrong. I have done things wrong. And if that's my consequence, okay. But, if I believe if you're in a union that both should fight for it if they want to keep it. I just felt like the person that I felt that I was dedicated that I dedicated my life to didn't fight for it at the moment in time. So that that did hurt. That hurt really deep.
That's where I was going with this actually. Is people don't fight for each other anymore over a little stupid fight. Any little fight, it could be something so stupid. It could be like you guys fought over why did you get vanilla ice cream over chocolate. I'm using stupid examples, of course. And they're before you know it, they're out the door. I'm like, seriously? Like we're done already
Mhm.
over something so stupid? Nobody wants to put the work and effort in it, even in a marriage. My friend CQR mentioned earlier in the show. Um, his marriage is the first best example I ever had, better than my parents. He still takes his wife out on a date night after 20, 30, 40 years. I'm not sure how long they've been married. They still make time for each other. Weekends
Right.
are only family time for him, wife, and his son. There's some weekends, of course, he travels and all that stuff, but he is the perfect example. He's only 2 years older than me, but I say he's 140 just mess with his head actually. But he's the person I look up to him as a marriage, as a friend, as a brother, whatever. He's the person I would say that is the person I like to have in.
Close proximity.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. That's the person I always wanted to say, hey, he's the man want to not become like, but it's close to, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like a lot of people learn through emulation, and some people are visual learners. Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by hearing. But the best is seeing somebody living out that testimony and actually doing it despite the highs and lows. And you're like, wow, they went through that and they still together. Hmm, big up to them. And you're like, I rather rock with those people than like what Dust Scam says that is emulated on the panels, but it's you wouldn't even want to like, oof, if you were like this now, I definitely want you know what I'm saying? But you have to get in real life. That's where the true, test is, the real life stuff, not on the online where you can be where you want to be, your alter ego, the real life. That's where it is.
I got plenty of alter egos. But I mean, it's all most of this is a joke. I just can't take it serious.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and joined the Troll Illuminati, and
It's just
The
okay.
troll Illuminati.
yeah,
Troll on the stroll.
I'm gonna start calling you as scam the Assassin's Creed of the YouTube streets. You come from nowhere and there's a strike. Oh man, welcome, my brother. How you doing tonight, my man?
yeah. Actually,
How y'all do? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm
you good,
about
man.
to drop. I'm about to drop. Y'all
All right,
have a
brother.
good night.
Thank you for coming in.
Have a good
Scam,
night.
don't run, Scam. I'll see you again soon. We'll talk. It's
Well,
all good.
you got dust.
No, I ain't got no. Listen, you ain't got time for the dust. We'll link up again soon, man. You know.
Oh, well, I don't think this is a dust panel, but there's always space for
No,
dust.
no, no, no. That's what I'm saying. We'll get a chance to go ball head to ball head soon, man. Don't worry about
All right, I'm gonna
I got a
win.
question for both
it.
of you.
um
Okay,
Wax
All
or
right,
no
okay.
wax?
peace out.
See ya, man.
How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing, everybody?
hey,
How are you,
And
sir?
I'm okay. Just relaxing, having a beautiful day. I'm sorry I'm late. I was uh, on my little sports BMU network doing some sports talk, but uh, I didn't get the gist of the last topic y'all was talking about. I heard, I know it's something about relationships. So
Actually, it was
I just,
mental health of mental
oh,
health,
okay.
sexual and personal life. How do they behave and and so on. So, wife just went her story. If you want to go or Chris wants to go, whoever you guys can literally fight over this.
Go ahead, wife. I gotta take something out the oven. Go ahead.
I
Yeah.
If you try to make marinara, you're losing already, girl.
I just think that mental health
It's on.
should be looked at, more attentively. Definitely our own. Also, like on your personal level, also they have family therapists where we all can go together, you know. Also the men should get help because sometimes I know that, or I've heard that they really can't express themselves in the home, or they never gave themselves to express themselves, or expressing themselves to a woman has never worked for them because they always threw it back in their face. So it's like, we should prioritize that if we do need to talk to somebody because people are suffering in silence. And I think the men in particular, because they're expected to be strong and not say nothing and keep it moving, they definitely need to, focus on themselves and get the help that they need, with their mental.
Trey, you want to take this next one? You want to go ahead?
This mental health thing it amazes me how much today
Mhm.
compared to when I was a lot younger, it's more prevalent in people. I remember there was always when I was younger, pretty much everyone stayed in their peer group. I didn't hang around with the 20 somethings if I was a teenager. I wasn't in my 20s hanging with the 30s. Everybody stayed in their lane, and pretty much whatever you were going through, we sort of talked ourselves out off the ledge. I could go to a friend and give them whatever BS I was going through, whether it was on my own, you know what I'm saying, or someone else was bringing it to me, and they would at least try to give me solutions. They wasn't like, yeah, man, fuck these people, man. I feel what you're saying and shit. You know what I'm saying? The hell, let's do that. No, they would give you some type of solution to get past where you are. And what I learned early is a lot of times I just have to be willing to be open minded about whatever it was. Now everybody seems to get in this space. And if I was in this space at 14, I'm still in the same space at 28. It's everybody else's fault, but I made some dumbass moves. I didn't want to take this opportunity. Disrespected this person, place, or thing. So it just amazes me how this is more prevalent now. And I also go back to this time too. I always speak on the crack era. When crack took over our streets in America, it took the mother out the home.
Mm.
Now, a lot of young adults today, they struggle with the communication because I remember, regardless of you being in a single parent or two parent, if you had something going on, mama was in your damn business. She was questioning what the hell you got going on, and she was in your business. Now it's like they do their own thing, I do my own thing. So it's a lot different, and I struggle with really trying to understand it.
Right.
But I understood that the OGs, they would say, hey man, you haven't gotten to this space and you don't want to be in this space, so you can't get it from me. Go take your ass over with some other 10, 15, 20-year olds and y'all talk about it. But my friends, whether it was with relationships with women, we would talk each other off the ledge and bring them back to reality and say, man, what did you do? I remember everybody questioning me, what the hell you do? And I had to talk through that. Not like, yeah, man, she did you wrong. I understand. No. And the one thing I always that I see is when we hear our men and our women talking about each other, they were all raised by the same mother. They all got the same experience, even from the father. Whether if your father wasn't there, you had the same experience. So how can I help you get to a better space if my father wasn't there? Only thing I can do is give you how I feel about it. And I think it's where, as men, we mess up a lot is we go by how we feel about stuff.
Mhm.
Your feelings mean nothing to me. My thing is I have to give you the best solutions possible to
Right.
get to a better. Now it's up to you to take those choices that I give. You choose one, I choose not to. But The game has not changed. You still live and die by your decisions as an adult.
Right.
Once you turn 21, that's what I've been telling my son. I cannot prevent you from going anywhere in the world now. But if you go somewhere after I've told you stay away from this place, you're going to have to deal with your own decision at that point.
Right.
I can't say I'm not going to save you, especially if it's something I said don't do. You don't need to experience that to be in a better space. And if you don't know, and if I don't know, let's go find the answer.
Right.
Let's find the answer, not just going off how I feel. Because how I feel, I can stay in that place for 10, 20 years and miss out on fucking 15 opportunities to better myself.
Right.
And this is what I see today. And that's the scary part. Like, damn, my strongest individuals are struggling with just communication.
Right.
Communication to get them to a better job, get them to a better place in life, mentally, physically. We still talking about shit. Well, when I was 10, my mama and daddy did this. So fucking what? You're an adult. You know better. Do better. That's just my thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But based off when I look back on my life, all the bad decisions, well, I say all the bad things that happened to me were a result of my bad decision making.
Right. Exactly.
My parents got me out of high school. That was a prerequisite. My parents didn't tell me go sleep with women. No. They didn't tell me spend money on bullshit. No. I did it because that's what I wanted. And then when it didn't work out, I didn't sit around and say, well, it was my father's fault. No, it was my damn fault. And that's what's helped me be at 55 now, have no debt. I bought 3 houses since COVID.
Wow.
I bought 2 new cars, a 22 and a 23, Mercedes and a BMW. I continue to help people. My focus is always on helping people, not myself. And I've been so blessed by focusing on helping people. Now, when I say helping people, I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to take you to the water. You have to drink that shit.
Right.
If you don't drink it as an adult, I'm no longer involved in what you do. You have to deal with that. You can't come back. I'm just that type of person. And it just amazes me how our strongest generation of people are struggling with basic life skills. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
What
So
generation are you referring to? Are you talking about 20 to
I'm fit.
30s or
It's like that 20. I always start at 21.
okay.
21 to 40. That 21 to 40.
Okay.
But I go back to crack era 35 years ago. 40-year-olds, they were 10 and 11 years old when they saw their family members getting killed by other people they knew, when they saw mama getting strung out, daddy getting strung out, sister, brother, the murder rate. Kids were seeing murders happen in front of them, seeing family members deleted. So it's just that time, and it's just scary. Now they have children, and they teach their children how to fight from an early age. Everything is a fight, whether it's right or wrong, indifferent or whatever. It's a fight, and sometimes it's a waste. It's a lot of wasted energy today than it was when I was a teenager. So
See, I always have a little saying. I know you say, drink the water. I have a different one. I can show you the door, but it's up to you to walk through it. Because walking through the door is, your path. And when you walk through that door, there's two paths: the easy way or the hard way. Sometimes you need to take the hard way because when you're gonna fall down, and I'm gonna copyright this saying. I swear to God, I know doctors listen to this. You're gonna fall down. Let's be honest. We're all gonna fall down. But as you're falling down, fall forward, not backwards. Because as you're falling forward, you can see your mistakes, and when you land your back, you're gonna get back up and climb that mountain. You're not gonna make the same mistakes twice.
I like what Mr. Ferg said because I think, like you said, we have the strongest generation. I think that sometimes I heard the saying that we, hopefully I get it right because I ain't gonna get it right, that we spend time trying to give them everything we didn't have instead of teaching them what we know. You know what I'm saying? What we've learned, so that they can use those transferable skills in their personal lives instead of being superficial, being transactional, things that don't get you anywhere, being consumers. You'll never be able to buy 3 homes. You'll never be able to do certain things, if you don't have, like you said, the basic life skills. Apply those things which I've learned, instead of trying to give you everything, which you have nothing to transfer as you get older and adulthood.
That's a big thing too. It's a lot of different factors. As much connected we are, we're so disconnected too at the same time. You really think about it.
Mhm.
Like some things I don't know. I'm a big enough man to say, hey, I don't know how to do that. Like it took me a while to figure sound effect problem here. I've been going on for a while, and I asked again CQ. I asked him, yo, shout out, he's my boy, and I was googling it. I was desperate. Sometimes you have to ask a little help. There's nothing wrong with that
Right.
because but some things I know better than somebody else. Like I have people ask me all the time, hey Pete, how do you do this? How do you cook this? I'm like, here's the recipe. I'll show you if you need me to. I don't mind doing that. Again, it's okay to ask for help once in a while.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
okay, guys, we got two choices. We're going to finish up the next 10 minutes, or we can keep going. What do you guys like?
Whatever you.
It depends on what we're talking about.
Right. There you go.
The next topic I have is actually a questionnaire I want to ask all you guys. So the first question is how does unhealthy sexual relationship complicate a disturbed mental health person?
So
Oh,
you're
I got
saying
you
you're
got
having
the
an
good one.
unhealthy sexual relationship with a mentally disturbed person?
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Holy
That shit
shit.
shouldn't even be happening. Yeah,
Oh, it does happen.
that's
That's
a
all I'm gonna say.
disaster. That's a
But
disaster.
how about if you don't find out they're mentally disturbed till after the fact?
Mm.
What do you do then?
I think you're screwed either way.
I'm
Hey,
going in, coach.
hey, you gonna have to make a tougher decision if he impregnates you with all of that unstable health.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a different can of worms.
I had one and I'm
Man.
done. That's it.
It is.
Eh,
It's true.
But but here's the thing that I found out working in education. I spent 17 years in Chicago public schools.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
And if you want to know anything about social services in America, they send people from around the world to Chicago.
Mm.
That's how they come up with all of your social service laws through the city of Chicago. When I got there in 2004, there were 400,000 children in the DCFS services
Oh my
in the county of Cook County. 400,000. It was a lot of adoptions and there was a lot of guardianships. So I learned a lot in a short period of time. I worked in the heart of the city. My first assignments were Robert Taylor projects, Cabrini Green, and it was another little, I forget the other little project, but these are the projects you seen on the old Good Time show.
Hmm.
It was Candyman, the movie. It was scary.
God.
My supervisor said, "Look, we gotta get there at 8 in the morning before the street people wake up." I'm like, "Man," she like, "No, we getting there 8 in the morning. We had to walk up 6 flights of steps." I had two mothers with 25 children. Two mothers,
What?
25 children. I had two mothers. They were my clients. 25 children between the two,
Their
from
own.
newborn. If say it again,
Their own children.
they own children. These two mothers, between them, they had 25 children uh, together. All together, it was 25 children.
Wow.
That was just, yes. And I learned so much about people, what they go through. This woman and man, one mother, and they were younger than me. So it was really a
Wow.
devastating. The one mother had two children. Her last she had a set of twins that were the babies. They were born with substance abuse in their, substance abuse issues. The babies, they were born with that in their system. But she had about 4 or 5 of them that were born in the system. These children were placed in the guardianship by the father's mother because he was so strung out He couldn't even be around the children. And I had one of them had a teenage girl. And this is the unique part about being a teenager, adolescent, and we probably all experience this. And this is for boys first. When a boy turns about 12, his scrotum sac separates from his body. And this is where mothers get in trouble with their sons. And you will notice when it happens because when he's 8, 9, 10, 11, he'll hug you and be like mama and he rub up on you. But when they start separating, well, when they separate from the body, he don't want to hug you anymore. He don't. He'll be like, "Mama, go ahead, Mama. I'm good." He ain't
Go
trying
ahead
to
with that. Go ahead on with that.
yeah, because now his focus, he now becomes the predator. Meaning,
Right.
that's a bad word, but now he's looking at other women. He's not looking at Mama.
Okay.
He's starting to find out who his sexuality is. And a lot of women don't see it. They just think like, oh, he's starting to act out. No, that is the greatest time for a mother to allow him to connect to a righteous man, whether it be his father, somebody in the community, a brother, but they don't do it. They try to hold him close. But as long as he gets older and bigger and taller, he's less likely to listen to his mother say, come home at 10. Not while I'm not coming home if my girlfriend mother goes to work at 10 and she gonna give me some at 10:30. I'm coming in late because I know mama ain't gonna do nothing but yell at me. I can take that. She's not gonna really get it because she ain't whooped me. She ain't never gave me a spanking or nothing. But now I'm smelling that. That's when people, even with girls, when they start coming on their cycle, yeah, and they just get 13, 14, they start getting their little knockers on their chest. You like, oh, you smelling yourself. She's starting to listen. Those pheromones are starting to kick in. Now she's listening to that little 13-year-old boy say, ooh, you cute. Ooh, can I do this? Yeah. And see, and that's where it's beneficial for the mother to even grab a hold of her and form a stronger bond and start teaching them about being young women and ladies and protecting their bodies. But mothers of today, they so focused on going back to being that teenager they were before they had that child. See,
Living their
now they
best
old
life.
enough. Yeah, see, they go back to that and they resort back to giving that child that same uniform that they were. Now they buying the kid little tight clothes and little belly. No. And I
Yeah.
don't know if y'all remember the movie Baps. You remember that movie Baps? If you notice, and I say this all the time,
I like
that's the same, but that's the same uniform that women are wearing today.
that.
That movie was made to make fun of sisters, but sisters have embraced that.
Right.
It's more risky today. Now the mental health problem comes in that when a lot of us in the Black community, we go undiagnosed.
Right.
We go undiagnosed. But the thing about it, your sexual appetite is it still grows.
Right.
That's why you see a lot of this sexual deviance behavior.
Right.
They're looking to have sex and not understand the repercussions, not understand the consequences, because it ain't just getting pregnant you got to worry about. You got to worry about all of these sexually transmitted diseases that is out here.
Right.
Chicago is one of the big cities. Atlanta, you got a lot of, now they pushing this whole new agenda to where when the kid turned 12 or 13, they let them pick free will of what they want to do.
Yeah. Who they want to be.
But that lifestyle was considered a mental illness up into the late 60s.
Oh, wow.
It was. Go do your research. It was a mental illness.
Yeah.
But
Well,
now, look at where we are now.
and
Look
even
at where we are.
right. Even
They taking over y'all woman's spot because they said y'all don't own the vagina. Y'all don't own periods. That's what they say. I'll stop right there, man, because it's crazy.
this is
A
good,
lot.
Trey. Tell the truth because it's
No,
all
I'll stop right
mixed in
there.
It's all mixed in there. That is a mental issue, and it's
God,
so
yes.
prevalent more now than ever. It's so true.
And think about it. Okay, I don't know when y'all started, but a lot of these girls are starting it soon as they come on that cycle. A lot of them are starting to have it regularly. I had a 6th grade boy that had a child. 6th grade had a child. The girl was in the 6th grade. So here he is, a fucking still a baby with a child.
Right.
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you see when you in your career when you were in the schools, did you see a lot of teen pregnancies and
Yes,
how did they how
yes.
was that handled correctly? Because I don't think it was ever handled
There's
correctly.
the unique thing about me is that I held groups daily from six for the sixth, seventh, eighth grade boys. I
Hmm.
held groups, and then I had an intern, and I helped her form a young ladies group, and our whole focus was about self love, self preservation, information, uh, just respect for persons, places, and things. And our big one was respect for womanhood for the boys and the girls. And what a lot of people do in these type of fields, what they make the mistake on, they don't bring those parents into the fold. When you starting to talk about life with a kid, you have to bring the parent into that mix, because I can't give a kid all this great information and then go home and mama's saying something totally different and talk about I'm your mom. They're not gonna get it. But soon, the earlier I brought the child into it and start allowing the parent to express some of the things she was doing, then I could connect her to resources. I would say, Mom, we're talking about self-love this week. I need you to confirm the love for your child. I need you to say you're beautiful. I need you to say you're talented, you're smart. I need you to say these words, because she needs to know that we're working together, or he needs to know, so they can't, it's about the child. It's not about how I feel about stuff. I never look at stuff how I feel. It's about what's truth and what's logic. And if I don't know the answer, I'm not afraid to say, let me get somebody who can help you. Let's look it up together. Let's look up these things together. And if those, and unfortunately, a lot of our young adults today never had those issues addressed as children, and
Right.
now they're dealing with these issues because a lot of children in the early 2000s, they were pushing this ADHD and pushing this medication on children. And when they turned 13, a lot of them stopped taking that medication.
Mm.
But they still have that label. Just because you stop taking, if the doctor does not take you off that prescribed medication, you have that label on you throughout your life. When you go to prison, they pull up your records. When you get locked up, anytime you go to the doctor, that ADHD tag is still on your record. They do not come off. So now I don't know how to deal with my emotions. My mama don't talk to me. She talked bad about my daddy. She always told me I ain't shit. I look just like my daddy. My daughter, she told her daughter she ain't shit. She's hot. She's this. So instead of, they just live in that life that they were groomed to be. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I have so many questions. Mr. Treyferg, I was listening to Dr. Umar at one point talking about how us Black people should not get our children diagnosed through the school system, but rather through private evaluations so that they don't have like those doctor labels and they can, come off probably like you said, eventually when that private evaluator says, well, you have definitely transitioned off, and so I'm not going to put you on this anymore. So would you suggest that? I thought that made sense because when you have that school record, it is like you said, a stamp in time on who you were. You probably were just going through something at the moment. Maybe your dad left or things like that. Something that happened to my son, and they were trying to get him evaluated within the school and say this and that. Do you think he has ADHD? I'm like, no, his dad just left and he's
It's
upset
circumstantial.
and he's acting.
Let,
And it
let
was.
me ask y'all this.
Mhm.
Let me ask y'all this. Um, oh my God. What's your name? Uh, what's your name, man? I forget your name. No, not
How
you.
you
Me?
gonna forget his
Right,
name?
Not
right.
white school.
Come
Yes,
on, man.
Yeah.
yes.
Embrace
Yeah.
the
Listen.
grace.
Okay. So you have a 17-year-old son. I heard you say you have an older son, right?
Hmm.
Now, white school podcast. How old is your baby? Is
10.
it? Okay. So here's the thing. I did this study. Do y'all children know how to swim?
Yes.
Not fully, but I
White school. Listen, one of the greatest combative devices for ADHD is to teach your child how to swim. Take his ass to the pool, get him lessons, get him in the water, teach him how to swim. Because when you swim, you're using all your muscles in your body, your brain, everything is working. And it's going to teach you discipline because you can't be, I'm telling you, I learned this early in life. You ever
I
seen the
gotta.
commercial? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I apologize, but I gotta piggyback on this with you because you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
I had a pool in my house in Florida, so it only made sense. You live in Florida, it's a state surrounded by water, and I had a pool. So how the hell I'm not gonna teach my son how to swim? He was only 2 months old. The guy tells me go in the pool. He taught me something about parenting. He said,
Yes.
give me the baby. I said, what do you mean give
He
you the baby?
he
He
dunked his ass,
threw
didn't
my
he?
son. No, he didn't dunk his ass. He threw him to me and said, don't touch him. Don't touch him. So we waited about, I was dying. I was dying. He was like, his life survival skills are going to kick in and he is going to fight to
Hold his
get
breath.
that bread.
Yes.
So
Yep.
after 10 seconds, I couldn't take it anymore and I grabbed him. But I took that concept and that's how I've been raising my son. Mom, I don't want to do it. Get your ass behind that wheel and you're going to drive. But it's raining. You have to learn when it's raining, when the sun's out, and everything. And you're so right. And a lot of parents need to learn that.
Right.
We got to stop holding these kids' hands and coddling them because this world is not going to coddle them and hold their hands, especially our black children. I have a black son.
Mhm.
He was like, Mom, why are you giving me an ID? I'm only 9 years old. I said, Son, we live in a predominantly white neighborhood. You always
Yes,
want to be
sir.
ready. You always want to
Yes.
be ready so you don't have to
Yes.
get ready.
They
We
can
got
get
Yes.
Karens. We
yes.
got Karens and Kens out there, and I need you
Yes.
to be ready. And you
Yes.
know what really, really made me do that? My ex-husband, he used to jog at night. But I was working that
Hmm.
night and the baby was sleeping and we lived in a cul-de-sac. So he decided, we're a basketball family. So he was
Hmm.
doing suicides in a 400 feet driveway. Do you know he got the cops called? Somebody called the cops on him because
He was running.
he was running and he didn't belong in that neighborhood and he's been living there for 5 years now already.
Mhm.
I'm
Damn.
like, wow, I need to give my baby an ID because we live in this neighborhood. And on three separate occasions, he had to whip out that ID to prove that he belonged in that neighborhood.
Yes.
So
I mean, you're a
you're
thousand percent.
absolutely right. Even
Well,
But
now,
here's
when you were
the
telling that story,
but but
go
but
ahead.
here's another one that helps out too.
okay.
You ever take your kid to play soccer? You wonder. Listen, you wonder why white people take their kids to play soccer?
Because they
No, I
they
don't.
It's medically proven that it runs the ADHD out of your child.
my
You
son
expect
my
you
son
expect the kid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. He has been ripping and ranting about, Mom, I played soccer today. They kicked me and everything, but I held his leg and I threw it down. So he couldn't kick me. So he's been ranting and raving about soccer recently. So I'm really excited about that because I was like, I need to put y'all on some karate.
Put
But
listen.
Mm-hmm.
Put him.
I
Put listen. Put him. Soccer does a multitude of things. First of all, it'll run all that baby fat off of him.
he need that.
Second of all, it's going to build muscle.
Okay.
Third of all, it's going to build team strategy, team work. He's going to be able to work with a team. He's going to be able to accept winning and losing. It's going to create hand-eye coordination.
Wow.
And guess what?
Absolutely.
You only need 2 or 3 hours a day. Guess what you can do while he's over there playing? Take your damn umbrella, put your shade up, and take your ass and get you a good nap in. And when he on the drive home, say, stay up, baby, stay up. Talk to him, make him stay up. Say, you go ahead and get in the tub, baby. I'm gonna fix you some dinner. Make him sit his butt in the tub, sitting there till he wrinkles like an old
Night
pickle.
night. Mm.
Get out. And guess what? He gonna eat. He gonna probably fall asleep before he get through eat. Carry his butt in that bed. He gonna wake up refreshed. He'll have a good day in school. And by the time he's 15, 16, your son will be on cruise control.
And he won't need that medication.
See
No,
all those
he won't need because he'll run it out. Think about it. Back in the day, we talk about how much we was outside running and running and running and running and shit. We
Exactly.
we was drinking water filled with lead and shit. We
Yeah.
was putting our mouth on a damn light pole, getting it stuck and shit, all that lead and that shit. Wasn't nothing
But did
wrong
you
with you.
die? Did you
No,
die?
no, eating shit
So
off the ground and shit. Oh my God, kiss it, damn, I
God
missed
made
it.
dirt, and dirt don't hurt.
Come on now.
time out one
Come
second.
on now.
Here's
I
my
mean,
pushback
look,
to this.
it's
Just a
it's
little
it's
pushback.
not difficult. It's not difficult
Yeah.
at
I
all. We just
hate
our parents are just too
Make it
lazy. We
difficult.
focus on self. We just focus on your child. Like the most critical time in a child's life is his first 3 years. His
Hmm.
first 3 years. You get your child engaged. Your son is 10 years old. I would run his ass rampant right now. It's going to help you out too because it'll take a lot of stress off you because he'll start seeing things for what they are. Like, dang, mama, this and this. You be like, son, I ain't know you know that. Yeah, and don't be afraid to give him what you do as a mother to take care of him. Show him how to pay a bill. Get him a state ID. And this is it's my last thing. I,
When
I,
did you
I,
get
I
a state ID?
you
Was
can just
it
take him and get a state ID.
Yeah, mine
Any
was 9, and I lived
DMV.
in
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I got my son a state ID. And this is what I learned. A lot of us have guns for protection, right?
sure do.
Get it, get him a fucking perk card. Go get him registered with a weapon. Registered. There's a lot of us use a weapon, but we ain't got it. That's where black people mess up. They don't register that shit. They tell me every state level, get your gun registered. I got my son a perk card when he was 9 years old. I did all this like Embrace the Grace did. At 9 years old, we did it all. He did it all. So don't be afraid. Don't let other people scare you out of the safety and the security of your son because you ain't gonna always be around. Teach him how
Yes,
to talk to
that's
the police.
absolutely right.
Yeah, teach him how to respect
I,
person,
I
places,
I
and
had to
things.
teach him
So
how to get pulled over.
yes.
Son, when you get pulled over, and I was having a conversation with a white lady at the bank, and she was trying to compare herself to our sons. I said, ma'am, you have no idea. We may live in the same world, but we live in different worlds.
Mhm.
Did you have to teach your son how to act accordingly when he gets pulled over versus my son? She was like, well, what could you have possibly taught him that I couldn't teach my son? I said, where do you keep the insurance and registration to the vehicle? In the middle console. I see my son can't keep it in the middle console. He has to keep it in the visor, so he don't make those
Mhm.
sudden movements. So he don't get
Mhm.
accused of pulling out a weapon. He has to keep his hands 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on the steering wheel. You
Mhm.
can why your son can just pop out of the car and not have no problems. And I
Mhm.
swear to God, I think she had a learning moment because some people walk around and don't really realize the things that melanated people go through. And this is why I hate when people say, I'm not qualified to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about this. Please,
Shit,
I didn't
yes
got
you
pulled
are.
over.
So
I didn't got pulled over just because I was in a suburban sitting on 23s going through the hood. But because it was a nice truck, it wasn't a truck that was familiar. I got accused of having drugs in the car.
Mm,
That's when I
mm, mm.
decided, and I was actually in the criminal justice program going to be a police officer, and I dropped out because I
Mm,
said, no,
mm.
I can't work for that team. I can't. I cannot work for the blue team like that. And if you're gonna discriminate, they searched the car. They went through it like vultures. They searched that car in less than 30 seconds. They found some stuff. They found a half gallon of
So,
gin because I let my homeboys hold the truck the night before. They found the roach, and the police officer's like, here you go. So I'm like, that's not mine. And they were like, yeah, it is. I said, what makes you think it's mine? Well, we found it in your truck. I said, just because it's in my truck, it doesn't mean that it's mine. You found it in the back seat. Where was I driving? I was in the front seat. See, they didn't know I was going to school for criminal justice. And I already went through interrogation 101. So I was turning around interrogating them. I said, sir, my brother had the truck last night. He went out with his boys. I'm just dropping off my friend. We just finished having, oh, but we followed you all the way from 34th and 6th. I'm like, wow, how interesting. So yeah, they a lot of people don't realize the world that we live in is totally different, and we have to raise our boys and girls differently. And by the way, first, I was a basketball coach for 19 years, and the first kids that I would pick besides the basketball players were soccer players. They may have not known the game of basketball, but they knew how to run up and down that damn court and go get me that rebound. And they were in better shape than most of those basketball players because they ran so much. They were like, why you picking her? She don't know nothing about the game. I said, well, that's where I come in as a coach. But she's already in shape. Because soccer ends right when basketball season starts. I said, she's in shape. She's been running, you're not. I got to get you in shape and get you ready. So, yeah, if you could get him in soccer, he'll love going to practice. He'll be part of a team. You guys can make it a family event for games, go out for ice cream afterwards. It's fun. I was a basketball travel mom, and I went through all of that, and I coached, and I think that's what really bonded my son and I. We would go to the park and shoot around. It's awesome. First, you would love it.
So I don't mean to cut you off. Here's my little pushback with soccer and swimming. They're great sports. I did soccer myself, but my sport, wife knows where I'm going with this already, is martial arts. That's the sport I'm gonna defend to
Let's
the day
do it
I die.
all.
I wanted to get into martial arts.
You sure can. Nobody says there is no age you can. I taught people from young as 3 all the way to their 56, even 70s.
I need to get into some karate, man. I want to get out some stress.
See, because I didn't get a weapon till I was in my late. I didn't get a weapon legally until I was in my late 20s because I know my temperament, and I know I probably have 6 bodies right now. But I know me, so I avoided that temptation. When I finally grew up and matured myself, because my dad was Sicilian, he taught me about guns. We used to go shooting for deer. He taught me how to go fishing, how to make the marinara sauce. But I like your idea. I'm gonna take my son now that he turns 18 in April. I'm gonna get him a weapon, get him a permit, and go to that'll be our new thing. Go to the shooting range. Teach him how to clean a gun, take it apart. Those are basic life skills, especially in this world we live in right now.
So the feedback I have on with firearms, and I'm a supporter of firearms, First Amendment, all that stuff. But I think anybody should at least at least you women need to take at least a couple of women self-defense courses, because if that weapon fails for some reason, it's going to jam up eventually or fails.
They take it from us.
That's the other one. You know what I used to teach my women self-defense and my men self-defense how to fight? You know what's one thing I used to tell them? Fight like a man. Fight like a woman. Everybody look at me. Why like a woman? There's 2 parts of the body you cannot condition. It's your eyes and your groin. I can teach anybody to rip a groin out very easily.
Just rip it out.
Oh, rip it out. Like you're going
Come here.
You go snatch the whole lining out between my legs. Good Lord,
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
Yes, sir.
I'm dropping on the spot. It's wild.
It can get a little painful.
It's wild. It's wild.
So
I feel so
Yeah.
bad. I would totally destroy a man's manhood, but I guess I gotta survive.
you gotta do
It's
what you
either
Hey.
you or him. Like my dad
You
used
or
to say,
him.
it's either you or him. But one of y'all better not get up because a dead man can't testify. So
Oh, okay, I have a question for you. Let's just say
Okay.
you are, and I used to ask kids this same question. Let's just say you are attacked, right?
Mhm.
And the person pins you down on the ground, but
Okay.
they've now straddled you in a position where their genitals are over your face. What do you do?
I'll bite
I'm
him.
biting the shit out of it.
I don't give a shit. You call me gay, whatever. I'm gonna bite him till I rip blood out. I don't give a shit. I know what my sexuality is.
I'm embracing them.
But see, it's funny hearing y'all say that because all the kids would be like, "No, I'm not biting him." I'm like, "You do whatever you got to do to get home."
Yeah.
No, man, that's kids, that's homo.
That's gay.
No, it ain't. That's saving your damn life. So You got to take. It's sad that we got to think about this stuff and take these type of measures today.
Yeah.
We can't just go walk in the park and enjoy our day today. It's always somebody up to some BS and
Right.
shit. And that's why I say teach your kids as much as you can about life. Don't the hell with somebody else talking about are they ready for it? Hell, if you think about it, they ready for it. Now and it may take 2 or 3 lessons to go over and then get to the point where they teaching you what you taught them. Now you'll have a better, you know what I'm saying? You can being a parent to a younger kid today it's a little stressful. It's not so much your kid you got to worry about these damn fools out there. So just be careful.
Definitely.
Give them all that shit.
Keeps them, like you said, I mean, I know that they're still going to have attraction to the opposite sex, but it just gives them a little bit of focus and a little bit of discipline. Hopefully. I'm not saying totally, but something. Maybe. I don't know.
But it builds self-confidence. He's going to be able to respect people a little bit more. He's going to be able to respect himself and respect you a little bit more because his focus is not getting the box. It's being a protector, being a learner, a student of whatever it is that he's learning. So it's a big distraction. What they need, kids need distraction from sex. They see too much sex today. Everything is sex. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see ass and titties all day. No, so. That's just
Well,
me.
what I did, Stephanie, is that I kept it real with my son. I didn't sugarcoat nothing. And I started in on him when he was 6 years old, talking about everything that he needed to know age appropriately. That's another thing that we mistake do as parents. I got teased at the office because I wouldn't let my son see that movie with the clown. Oh, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. I said, no, it's rated R for a reason. Kids sometimes can't separate fantasy from reality. And I know my kid. And it wouldn't have been good to him. So all the kids got together and went to go see that movie. Not my kid. He didn't have that auto Grand Theft. I knew he used to play it at his friend's house, but he didn't have it at the house. It was something, and I think that's very important. Age appropriate, raising your children, because the mind grows. And if we're teaching them things, that's why our kids are so over sexualized, because we're introducing sex to them too early. It came to the point, wife, that my son came to me when he was 15. He was like, Mom, I'm ready. I said, ready for what? I mean, I already knew. My heart dropped. I already knew. Yeah, I'm like, ready for what? He was like, Mom, I'm ready to have sex. And he said it with his chest out. Because I always taught him to speak his mind, remember who the hell you're talking to, and stay respectful. I'm like, but I'm not ready. I said, well, Mom, you better get ready because I'm ready. I didn't trip. We was kids. We know what we used to do. See, I think that's another mistake that a lot of parents do. They forget that they were trifling and lying and sneaking out when they were kids. So you know what I did? I called my friend who's gay, and he goes to the clinic every 2 weeks. I said, bring me back a bunch of condoms because, they're free at the clinic. And he gave me a bunch of condoms. And I gave him a cucumber. I said, look, I'm not going as far as teaching you how to put one. They have YouTube. Practice on this cucumber, and then you practice on yourself, because you want to make sure it don't pop and make me a grandma. You want to make sure it don't slide out and make me a grandma, and you don't want to seem awkward, because I know the moment was going to come. He waited like 7 months after he had that conversation with me, but I prepared him. I didn't chastise him. I said, no, you can't do this. You can't do that, because they're going to do it anyway. So he went in there ready with the playbook, and he was responsible. And I mean, I won't go as far as telling you the finish of the story. Just know that none of them fit. We had to get the golden ones. He was like, Mom, what did you expect? I'm a size 14. I'm 6'4". Look at my hands. I'm like, oh, and then that was another lesson. I said, look, you don't go around giving that big dick energy just to anybody, because I don't want no bricks through my window, no flat tire. Most grown women can't handle that, let alone these little girls. I'm
He
like,
bringing the
oh,
hammer.
yes.
Hammer.
I'm like, but I told him, give your penis is just as worth as just any vagina. It's a privilege for any girl to have you. When you walk in a, I told him this, and I know I could be kind of
Stop.
abrasive with it. When you walk into a room, bitches' pussy better start clicking. That's the impression that you need to do when you walk into a room because you got confidence, you're tall, dark, and handsome, and they're gonna all fight for you. You shouldn't have to fight for nobody. You the first one out your crew to get a job, you the first one out your crew to have a car, you the first one out your crew to have a JetBlue credit card with a $5,000 credit because I made you an authorized user. You're gonna have 850 credit when you're 18. You got to prepare our kids for basic life things. And that's all this
Hmm.
bullshit that they're trying to push on our kids about
Mhm.
transgender. It's no. What happened to home ec? What happened to shop?
Yeah,
Right.
but
Half the girls
but
don't even know how to sew a button
but you know why they don't have that now in a lot of public schools, right?
because they don't want family units. They don't want to have
Yeah,
the family unit.
yes, but the different dynamic is that without home ownership in those communities, you have no collective bargaining and you can't dictate what goes into the schools. That's why in the suburbians where they people own homes, it's a little different in the schools.
The property.
Now, without home ownership, you can't say, hey, even though this is a public school, we want this in our school. That's one of the reasons why they don't have it.
I thought it was
Because
funding.
well, they can have. It's not so much the funding because that's all it is. It just needs a teacher that can teach it. They always find. Look, they got money for resource teachers, teachers to lock your damn kid up and hold until you get there. They got money for that. That's all it takes is a little collective
So
bargaining. If
You
we,
do have a good
so
point
that's
there.
all.
So
so you saying if you're not a homeowner, you don't pay taxes. Since you don't pay
Property
taxes, you
tax.
have no say. Is
Right.
that the
Right.
thought process?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't have no say. That's why a lot of stuff
Okay.
get like. Remember when they took in cursive writing out of schools for a while?
Oh my, I couldn't believe that.
But think about it. In cursive writing allows you to have analytical thoughts. So this is where we are. It's a lot of adults out there with children that can't write in cursive.
Yeah.
No,
So what you think their life is like? They
yeah.
ain't working no corporate jobs.
So guys, it's the top of an hour, so I think we're gonna call it for tonight. I think those were one of the greatest conversations we had in a long time, and
we
it's a
yeah, this was
pleasure.
good.
I'm
I
s-
liked it.
I'm sorry for messing it up. Yeah.
It
No, you're
was
good, man.
great.
No,
We
this
learned
is an
a
You
open
lot.
didn't you
panel.
didn't mess it up. You
No,
brought a
you
lot
didn't.
to the
No,
table.
I
no.
learned a
I'm
lot.
just saying.
Anybody's
I,
welcome.
I,
That's why Trey asked for the link. I throw it in there. And I told him it was a few minutes we left. If he showed up a little earlier, he was more welcome to come up too. Anybody's welcome. I just needed a heads up so I can figure out OBS. OBS is not as friendly as StreamYard. She's a little moody sometimes, but I get her to working. But
yeah.
final thoughts. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Um, this was a great conversation. I mean, we were all over the place with different topics, but everybody brought something constructive and productive to the table. I learned. Wife, I know you learned some stuff now. Baby gonna go to soccer now, so
Karate too.
you confirmed things for me, knowing that I did some stuff right. So the fact that we can all learn from each other, that means we know better and we're gonna do better. So thank you for inviting me, Peter. We're gonna have that marinara sauce cook off. You
You
may
got
be a
it.
chef, but I'm Sicilian. I'm half Sicilian. Okay, you don't know none about this fresh marinara sauce. Okay,
Yeah. Get him. Get him. Get
have
Who's
a
him.
next?
have a good night, guys, and thank you for having me, Peter.
Anytime. I hope you're welcome at any time. I will send you a link
Yes,
weekly so you can have it. Anytime we have a show, you're more than welcome to.
absolutely.
Right. Okay, I'll go next. I learned so much tonight. I learned a new perspective from scam, that, we really have to do better um, for each other. I learned from Trey tonight about how to deal with, boys, young men, also from Grace, because my boys are coming up and it's like I almost have to do it by myself. But if like she said, if I'm prepared, I can prepare them and they deserve that. and for me to hold it back from them would be a crime. So I want my boys to succeed, and I want them to be prepared and to be like Mr. Trey and buy 3 homes and 2 cars, 122 and a 23, and and just be
And a
successful
38.
men that I can be proud of, and that a nice woman would be a nice girl that be a wife too, and perpetuate families, healthy families. And so I just learned a lot. Thank you, Peter, for having me, and I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. So, thank you for everybody who came on. Thank you for having finally two beautiful women on versus us old men. Who's gonna be bored in here for a while. But we learned a lot. I couldn't get all the topics, but we're gonna have a part 2 of this. But a little update what's going on the next couple days. Saturday we are talking about evolution of cartoons. Whoever wants to come in, please let me know now because we're
Oh
gonna have some
man,
fun on that one.
I like
Next
cartoons.
Wednesday, we're gonna talk something edgier again. Evolution of dating. Let's go talk
Oh,
about it.
Oh man.
So I count your ladies in. I already see the faces.
oh, oh man.
What?
I just got recruited onto another panel for next Wednesday, so that's gonna be hard. Yeah, I don't know, but I definitely would like to, maybe I can chime in on my phone and be in the chat. See, I can support that way.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you can, I totally understand. But whoever can make it, it'll be great. It's all the topics so far we've been talking about is always be a part 2 and a part 3. So because like today, I couldn't finish all the topics. I'm cool with that. It was enjoyable. I had a great time with you girls. Except that we're gonna have a great time. So except that, guys, stay fresh, stay safe, and have a great night.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy your night.